Welcome back to the Spodek Arena for live coverage of ESL One Katowice 2019. It is day number 4 of our tournament, day number 1 inside the main event itself. We're in the lower bracket right now, having completed our first series of the day. Congratulations once again to OG, who've come through safely with a very straightforward 2-0 victory over Team Asta. Things might get a little bit more funky though in series number 2 because these next two teams are very evenly matched on paper, on form, and exactly what they've been doing here at ESL One Katowice. It's Chaos against Mineski. We've changed our panel up a little bit as well. Fogg asked me actually on the way into this section, is this the oldest panel we've ever done for Dota 2? I know, he's a cheeky young blinder, but we do welcome Toby1. Ladies and gentlemen, Toby1 to the panel.
I don't know how I feel about this whole, the first thing Fogg thinks of when I come onto the panel is, aren't we a bunch of old farts? Like,
I was including myself.
Yeah, and he didn't think about this until you came on too, Toby. So
yeah.
You're not wrong, actually. And then I started thinking...
Mildly worried about you sometimes.
Yeah, then we started thinking about Ted, and and then we realized...
I've done a few with Sunsfan, Ted, Jack.
Come on, Paul. You, me, Pyrian, and Shannon. That's the panel.
Probably the oldest panel in all times.
We're doing it.
If we added up all of the ages, we're probably like 500,000 years old or something.
I'm glad Dota 2 is staying young and relevant.
Yeah, experience. It's all about experience.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Says the guy who tried to cast like 2 different games. Sorry.
What do you mean 2? What do you mean 2? People don't even...
61 over here, thanks.
For every, yeah. What did you... What was the first game you cast, Paul?
Unreal Tournament.
Unreal Tournament. See, for me, like, first game I cast was Call of Duty Vanilla.
Right, yeah, I did a little bit of original Call of Duty.
You cast COD Vanilla before you cast Dota?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I did COD Vanilla. Actually,
he was an FPS caster before.
I was an FPS player. I played in Australian leagues for COD UO, for COD 4, as well as some Battlefield 1942 stuff.
Old.
Oh, man. By the way, so was LD, right? LD
See,
was
Toby, look,
really
I'm
good
with
too.
you. I'm with you. I'm trying to help you here. I'm the train man at the end here, trying to save you from going underneath the wheel.
This is what you get, Red.
You're just giving him ammo.
No, this is what you get. People come into the scene these days just like, I remember any of the history at all. I'm sorry, you used to do what? You had to do what to stream out?
Are you sorry you started this, Fogg?
Sitting here quietly. Now I don't have to do much.
Children these days don't understand what we went through, Red, and that's it. I've done my old man rant.
You're good
Get
now?
off my lawn.
Absolutely. I was waiting for the lawn moment as well. Gents, I said on the way into this particular game, they're very evenly matched. On paper, on form, here at ESL One Katowice, in the DPC range. There's not much between these two. So in theory, please, for the love of God, we should have a really good series.
We should definitely have 3 games as well, because I think Chaos, the name of the team, suits this match. That's what it's going to be between both of them. Mineski got a little bit of power surge back into them yesterday, right, when they did that whole courier trick, and Chaos, they've been looking pretty decent overall in their showing, so yeah, should be fun.
So I tell you, until the very last game, until the very last series that we saw from Mineski, I would have favored Chaos here prohibitively. I think Chaos can really outdraft Mineski. Their drafts, you better watch that Pango, because they've got 2 players in Wee and Tabo that play that hero at an elite level. You better watch that Nature's Prophet, because they will run safe lane Nature's Prophet and HFN, and he will own you on that hero. And Mineski had not shown the same kind of diversity. But all of a sudden, against Complexity, they first picked Chen for the first time in 11 months, show a wrinkle that they hadn't shown before, and it really caught Cole off guard. They better have some of the same wrinkles ready for this series.
I'm going to add one more.
Yeah. The 5th pick Meepo after Ember.
Yes, because that was such a smart draft from Misery, wasn't it?
It really was. I mean,
I don't know how much our British T-Governor coach had involved in it. Probably hit all him, actually. But, I'm not even joking either, but it was such a smart draft. It was perfectly concealed, wasn't it?
And I tell you what, if there's been one knock from time to time, not all the time, but occasionally on Misery's drafting, it's been he is a little bit too set in his ways sometimes across different metas. He really looks like he's embraced 7-2-1.
But I think that's the great thing, isn't it? Because if he has been a bit stale on it, he's recognised in his own head that he's probably a little stale. He's then invited a brand new face into the team, trusted him to give him independent advice, and suddenly we're seeing some slightly offbeat drafts.
We did, though. He should embrace the variety. That's, I think, what his team has. That's like their best bet. You look at Tavo, you look at Weeha, you look at these guys. They have such a massive hero pool. Might as well abuse it.
Yeah. Toby, what have you made of them?
Man, I actually just love to see, like I was talking to Kyle about this, because, hey, he's my knowledge man.
Right.
And it's actually the way he was describing how Misery actually drafts, and how Misery is, it isn't just like him setting the meta, it's him understanding who he's going up against and then getting these perfect counter drafts, so making you feel comfortable in what you do, but then having that 5th pick Meepo. And as far as everyone's been saying here, your depth of pool is so great that, like, 5th picking, I don't think it's even a current thing in the current drafting where you're like, I got to look out for the 5th pick. But if we go back 6 months, it was always like, what's going to be the 5th pick? Like, where's the Broodmother? Where's the Huskar picker? Where's whatever's going to just mess with my day? And now you have that popping through, but
that's such a key point.
Like it's something great that like Misery is really able to harness.
Yeah, he's definitely done a much better job of that. In terms of their form through this particular tournament, what have you made of it? Has it been more consistent, the consistency that we and Misery I know was looking for?
I think, again, as I've sort of dived a little bit deeper into the replays, I think it's been a little bit more consistency and the addition of that variety, the little more unpredictability to the drafts. And I think it's what Toby said. That is an incredibly key point. 5th pick for a while in the last couple patches didn't, or 10th overall pick in particular, didn't feel quite as much of an advantage because there wasn't as much cheese. There wasn't as much Husker and Brood. Now, all of a sudden, 2nd pick coming in today's 40-25, including 14 and 6 2nd pick Radiant, that's the kind of thing that Misery can really exploit. And, you know, you talk about Misery's drafting approach. Will worked for them for a while with Digital Chaos, and he used to say Misery was as good as any other captain at empowering the players. Yeah. If he can do that and at the same time have these variety picks, that's where he gets really good.
Okay. In terms of key players, there's a number in this team. Who would you pick out yourself, Fogged?
For Chaos here? Ooh. God, in these last few games, I feel like it's been changing a bit, but...
It's an easy answer for Mineski, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute. Well, I'll give you that question, Toby.
Yes!
I think he would still just be Weehaw for me.
Yeah?
Yep. I think it's so important what hero he gets and if he has a good game. If he has a bad game, I feel like their whole team kind of falls apart.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to their opponents. They have relied on just one man pretty much over the last few months, and in particular have relied on him throughout this tournament. But yesterday it was a bit different, Toby.
I am totally surprised by this question, Red.
Are you really?
Did
you not realise you were going to get this question?
I had no idea.
Oh, I'm sorry to spring that on you. But I know that your knowledge depth and your ability to answer this question is wholesome, so you're fine, right?
This is the point where I wonder if we actually are thinking of the same person. For me, it's Moon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We're all on board the Moon train here.
I'm like, have we all become like pie lovers all of a sudden now? Like, is this the way we work? We're going full British?
No. But he's been the key, hasn't he? When he's empowered and he's playing well, they're putting everything on him. Whether they win or not, that doesn't. They've been putting a lot of pressure on him.
It's I think it's the pressure, but I think it's more the direction that comes with Moon. Like, it's like, especially when he gets to play heroes like the Tiny, it's you start off the fight on one target and he's already looking at the next one. And the rest, Mineski, they're following the train. They understand, okay, one is not enough. We're not a one-dimensional team. We can be a multi-dimensional team by going one to the next to the next. And that's why I really want to see what happens with Tiny in the first phase of the draft. Like, does it actually get just straight out banned against Mineski? Because it's that centerpiece that I think Mineski just do, like, put Moon on. It's like, great. So does the lane matchup work, and does it get banned in the first?
Yeah, nothing, not disagreeing with anything that Toby said, Alan, but yesterday was an outlier in a way, not just in the sense that it's, you know, they're picking heroes they haven't played for a year, but they played a different way.
It's an outlier, but it was also the answer to the two big questions personnel-wise that I think Mineski has coming into the season, and one is exactly as Toby said, is there a superstar on this team? The Mineski roster that won DAC last season, you got superstars on that team, led by Ice Ice Ice.
Yep.
This Mineski team, is there that same kind of star power? Moon has started to look like that player. The other big question is that Mineski has been playing a lot of their games with 2 5s.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And Febby yesterday, starting with that Magnus game where he saved the game with the base skewers, started to look like a high-impact 4. If they can get that going forward, this team can be a factor in the DPC.
So glad you brought that up. That was my next point. I was going to say that Febby's been struggling a bit to reach the same potential as we say, as like you need to be a top team. You need to have one of those powerhouse 4s, and Febby has been struggling.
All right, okay. Well, we're going to hear from a player on the Chaos side of things right now, as Shiva has been running around to try and find some of these players. Let's hear from Tavo.
Thanks indeed, Paul, here with Tavo. Yes, Tavo, We haven't had a chance to talk since yesterday, since you finished your group stage. So I'm just here to check in. How are you guys doing? You know, ready for today's match? What's the mood? What's the feel in the team right now?
We feel good. I think we always enjoy to play in front of the crowd. So every time we get to stage, it's pretty nice for us. And you asked about the group?
Yeah, because it has been a little bit of a rising line for you guys in terms of practice and how well you looked throughout the group stage. How was it from your side?
I think it could have been better. Like the first day was pretty good for us. We kind of found ourselves. The second day we made some mistakes in the first game that kind of got through the other games and that made us lose, I think. But I think we feel pretty good on the stage, and let's hope we play well here.
And you already mentioned the crowd just now, because a lot of people are remembering Birmingham last year, and it looked like you guys, I don't know, that the crowd just made you come alive even more. So how does it feel playing in front of that crowd?
It's just amazing. It's a feeling that you can't even describe, in my opinion. Something, I don't know. I just love it. Actually, me personally, I play for the glory rights. It's not even for the money or, of course, I love the game, but this kind of thing that makes me really want to play the game.
And you play better because of the crowd.
Yeah, for me, for sure. I think overall the team just is the same feeling.
I'm very happy to hear that because I can't wait to see you guys play in a moment. So I'm going to let you get back to your team. And thank you for taking the time to talk to me. Oh, yeah, you can say shout out, sure.
Mandar salve pro grupo de secretos aí, tamo junto. É nóis, rapaziada.
I hope that wasn't rude. Back to you, Paul.
Always a worry, isn't it, Shiva, when you've got, you know, someone that speaks a language you don't speak. You're always a little bit perturbed. They might be saying something that's a little inappropriate. Hopefully not. Sure it will.
Can anyone translate here?
I picked up a little, tiny little bit. I think we're okay. Don't worry.
Okay, I think he just said hi to his friends.
Yeah, we're good.
We'll go with that. Anyway, they are fun to watch.
I was so mad.
Sometimes we forget and we get a bit caught up on our analysis desk about being, you know, analytical or data-driven, or we talk about how their patches or the meta or whatever. Let's not get too carried away with it because these guys are fun to watch.
Well, not just that though, man. I was mad that I missed that segment you guys did the other day, the all underrated team.
You like that one?
Because he ought to be on that team.
Okay.
This kid lit the world on fire at the Kiev Major, upsetting Secret, taking EG to the brink, and I think he's been one of the better offlaners in the game. Not necessarily as consistent as you might like to see. Part of that's the region and the teams though.
Yeah.
And the biggest difference though when we talk about consistency, I think King RD has improved quite a bit lately. He's a guy that a lot of people talk about as sort of this, you know, just good enough kind of forward position. He's a guy that's like good enough maybe to be on a good team, but not exceptional. I mean, they've won 4 out of his last 5 Earth Spirit games. He's seemed to me to be quite a bit more consistent lately, and that to me is part of the kind of upward trajectory win condition for this team.
Okay, hold that thought for a second. Shiva's busy trying to catch up with all the players. I think she's got a thing for offlaners, though. Shiva, why always offlaners?
Talk to you a lot, luckily, and I am very curious how you guys are doing and in today's state of mind and how you guys are going to treat today's match.
I think we're pretty relaxed. Like, there's not much pressure on us, I'd say, because, I don't know, we kind of just made it past the groups. So, yeah, we're just kind of relaxed. We just play our own game. Nothing too stressful.
Yeah, because Ajit only joined like at the start of previous month, so it's very fresh as a 5-man, especially as this is, I think, your first actual LAN with the 5 of you like this. How's it been going according to you?
Obviously, like, results-based, I'd say is really good because we made it to the major. And this is our first real LAN together. So, I mean, last time we were in Hamburg and we didn't even make it out of the groups. This time we did. So, I don't know, it's like one step forward, I guess. But our results still aren't really good right now. So, let's hope we can like slowly improve. And also, we haven't really practiced before this event. So, I'm sure a lot of teams haven't either. But, you know, yeah.
Are you using your time well? Like, what are the lessons you learned from the group stages, you think?
Oh, we learned many things, actually. Actually, it wasn't really even like learning that much. It was just kind of like we were just a bit rusty and, you know, just getting back to our form before like the major qualifiers when we were really strong. So, yeah, just getting used to what we do like before.
How is performing in front of the crowd? How is that gonna change the way you play, you think?
We're all pretty experienced. Like it's gonna be the same thing, I think. Yeah.
Not better?
Yeah. Could be. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys play. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me, and good luck, of course.
Thank you, Shira.
Thank you, Paul. Back to you, Paul. Thank you, KP. Back to you, Paul.
I'm with you. It's fine. It's all good. There's definitely something going on. She even likes offlaners. Who knew, right? She's just going around finding offlaners right now. KP, what have you made of his performance at this tournament?
I think we're getting back steadily to seeing the old KP.
You think?
I think his play toward the end of again, I hate to harp on this, but he's one of my favorite players. Well, he's God's favorite player, so he's got to be good.
I think God's is bias on that front.
Really? Australian, he likes
Oh,
it too.
I see. Yeah, he's Australian.
Yeah, you know, we
Who'd have
Australians
thought
have had more people in a TI Grand Final than the English.
Well,
Not hard.
It
really
is no
isn't. Not
secret.
hard.
His performance, it dipped a bit during the last few months with Newbie.
Yeah.
It hasn't been what all of us are used to seeing from him for his first few months from Mineski. I think he is starting to pick it up and find some momentum along with the rest of the team over the last couple days.
Okay, Folk, is he restricted a little bit by his pull as an offlaner? Because he's not playing some of the meta offlaners that we're seeing right now. He's not creating the same kind of vibe that other teams are as
But
a
he can.
three. But he can.
And he's
yes.
also been one of those players that has played the little bit of the unique ones, right? When he was back on Newbie, he was doing the Nagas, right? Naga offlane,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
the
that's-
leaning
that's
support.
back from before that.
Even before
Yeah.
Newbie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like ages ago.
Yeah.
So no, I think he can play all those heroes. So I do think.
Maybe it's his team not enabling them.
Yeah, I think it's more of a team aspect
Yeah.
thing. And like they said, we haven't been practicing too much. This is like their practice, and they qualified for the major, so this is really their practice. To be
All right,
honest with you.
okay, I'm going to get some more from all three of you in just a moment. But it's time, ladies and gentlemen. I know you like these moments when you're inside the arena. Enjoy the walk-ins of both teams.
We are about ready to do this SEA versus SA. Everyone, are we ready for our second match? I can feel your intensity, sir. The way you just clap those things, it just reverberates through my spine. Oh, stop it. You're getting me too excited. Stop. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about ready to do this to, of course, introduce our first team. Why don't you give it up for Chaos? SA being represented well today. Give it up for Chaos. Let's welcome their opponents, Mineski. Here they are to the stage, looking to keep their momentum going. Mineski. Ladies and gentlemen, our second series of the day, Chaos versus Mineski.
Here we go then. Series number 2 in the lower bracket for the do or die place in the second round of the lower bracket. Win this one, you're through. Lose it, you're done for another year as far as the ESL One Katowice is concerned. We've got Toby, Fogged, and the Haz alongside me to bring you the first draft of this particular series. And as we move towards it, of course, their thoughts on these two teams matching up against each other. I was looking up, Alan, I don't know if you're aware of the snake that eats itself.
Yes.
Yes. And I was just thinking, why would you pick such a thing, you know, for a team?
Okay.
Bearing in mind that a snake eating itself is bad.
I mean, depending on which system of mythology you subscribe to, but go ahead.
Egyptian, Greek, Celtic, whatever.
Because it sounds and looks cool.
It does kind of look cool, yeah.
The word is cool too.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the punchline here.
No, I'm just saying, why would you do... Is it a metaphor for how we're going to see them play? It's about implosion, isn't it? Isn't it eating the snake eating itself means that's...
You're losing me here, Paul.
This feels like a very negative way to start for Chaos. It's like, hey, yeah, you guys are just gonna like screw up everything that you've created by eating yourself.
I mean, I realize it's their logo, but you're kind of...
Yeah, I'm stretching a little bit. As far as the draft is concerned for these two teams, we said earlier on, Alan, that obviously Misery has been playing around a little bit more, and Chaos potentially have the advantage in the draft.
I think so. I think the very first thing is, do Mineski have a plan to deal with this Prophet or this Pangolier? Because I think those are heroes that you have to address. But then you got to think about things like the Wii, Timber, maybe even Invoker. The HFN Slark is a hero that people don't talk about nearly enough. That guy is insane on Slark. So I think that when you're drafting against Chaos, there's just a lot of landmines here.
I think his Slark was also the only hero he's played twice at this tournament.
Yeah.
Like every other time he's been on a different hero throughout the Katowice so far.
And he's the only pro player that, even if you look at his pubs, he's like the only pro player that I know of that he never stopped playing Slark, even when the hero was like way out of the metal and horrible. But prior to Birmingham last year, we said this, when Slark just started to come back, that HFN had never stopped playing it.
Hey, 100% win rate at Katowice main event.
Hey.
Sample rate of 2.
He's played his same heroes for quite a long time. Even in pubs, like, for ages. Just like the Troll, Jug, Slark, his Ember sometimes. Yeah.
But on the other side, though, it's you look at the Mineski drafts, and they're not these same kind of landmines. I mean, they'll pull out a Drow strat. I like the fact that in both the drafts yesterday, they protected KP's pick. The Brewmaster and Slaughter were their fifth picks that had a lot of impact. And I like the fact that they pivoted and showed that first phase Chen, but you just don't see the kind of variety or the kind of sort of scary picks in their drafts.
Okay. What have Chaos got to watch out for on the Mineski side of things?
Probably just watching out for the combos, watch out for Enigma, watch out for big team fights.
Yep. Any hero in particular?
Just that, I think Enigma and Brew. And the thing is that's nice is that they share them.
Yeah.
Right? Chaos plays both of them. Tavo loves to play both those heroes.
Similar to OG.
I'm still flagging the Tiny though. Like that for me is
Tiny.
Like I always feel like Mineski's like KP just as a player before, like when we were having the big discussion about him.
Yeah.
Like he'd always have to wait until he had a large amount of farm, or when SCCC would create space for him, and that's when he'd hit those big ultimates that would decide the fights. That's when he found his right timing. But who creates that space? What hero creates that space for him? It's not just enough to say, oh, I can sit in the safe lane and farm while they're running an aggro tri lane for me.
Yeah.
So,
He's also one of the space creators on the team as well, isn't he? So. It depends. Again, it comes back to what does he play? What do they make him play? Right? Rather than what he wants to
meaning
play.
KP being the space creator? Yeah, he can be, but it's... I don't know, like I feel like he works better when he's able to sync with everybody else and not just by himself. Like Enigma is the perfect example of that. I black hole, but there's no one to follow it up. Yeah. What's the actual point? So yeah, for me, like I know like Enigma Brew, like think about it, KP could really wreck your day, but I still want to look towards Moon. I still want to see how the bands go against him.
Okay. The only reason why I was saying that is because like I think the Tiny could maybe be a little bit of a trap if they pick it. Then you could just see like that Timber Saw come out pretty early on, and then they look to set up for something like that and just dominate, go for the really good lane. I don't know.
And you mentioned the Timber Saw, right? That's been the answer for one of the answers for Chaos. The mid matchup in this series is just going to be so impactful, right? Because Moon, we're talking about him coming into his own, potentially being that star. One of the big differences in the last patch to now is that at times in 720, it felt like we didn't have a hero pool. And now all of a sudden, some of his big heroes, like the Timbersaw, like maybe even the Meepo, are coming back, and it feels like he's a threat again.
Yep, wide range of heroes picked by Mineski at this particular event. They played no hero more than 3 times, by the way, at ESL One, which is the lowest of all the teams.
Which makes sense with the way that KP interviewed, right? He's like, we're just learning, we're just experimenting, just trying to figure out what's good and what's bad and what we work with. Even if it is good, sometimes teams don't work well with even the good heroes.
Yeah.
So.
What do you think they learned from yesterday, Alan, that they can bring in today? Because they did play several heroes. Chen stands out as the one that hadn't played for almost a year. right? And then suddenly they play it and they find something in it and they think, oh, that's how this works. We've missed something. Now we found it. Are they going to use that again today?
I hope so. I think the common threads in those two games, they locked down Ajit's lane. They got, not only were they picking impact heroes for KP, but they got Ajit on PA in both of those games. Yeah. And in the first game, it was a Chen to really lock down his lane. In the second game, it was a Magnus in the second phase to really accelerate his farm. Ajit, people don't realize, Ajit and Afu are at the 1 and the 4 position, 2 SEA players that have quietly put up really big career numbers. And we have yet to see Ajit do that at a big LAN. This is what I'm looking for in this event.
Yeah, he's due one, isn't he?
Think so?
Definitely due one.
I think so.
Yeah.
He had a good game yesterday, but...
Yeah, I think that's the problem, isn't it? With isolated games here and there, you could probably go back and look at any of the LANs over the last 18 months and pull out 1 or 2 good games from every event that he's been at. But I think I agree with that.
Big tournament,
We're waiting for the breakout, aren't we?
For sure. And he's...
actually, I'm a superstar.
Yeah, and he is very fast of a player. That's one of the things. His reactions are one of the big ones. It's like someone like blinks on him as like these type of things, instant BKBs. A lot of the SEA players actually have insane reaction times when they are playing those carry heroes. So.
And I love it. I love his, just looking at his replays from this event in particular, I love his play on these catch heroes. The PAs, the AMs, I love it, you know, especially that the first game yesterday when they had PA Slardar, right? All of a sudden, like that Hayes target was just gonna die in those fights. And when both of these teams really are momentum squads. When they can play always moving forward in the fights, it just feels like these two teams are so much better.
I don't want to worry anyone, but obviously I look at things on my laptop while we're doing things, and game coordinator is down right now.
Oh.
Just saying.
That could be what's going on.
Well,
just saying. Could be related.
It's just patching the cliffs around Roshan.
dude,
just really quick, right?
That actually, I kind of want to see the courier made unable to enter the Roche pit. That's kind of feels like BS to me.
No, it should still fly over it, but what it should be able to do is be able to see as far as it does in that area.
Yeah, I don't like the courier being able to be a mobile ward over the Roche pit.
Okay, maybe you can enter, but the courier has to blindfold itself before it goes into the pit.
Well, the same rules as wards is that you can't have a single source of vision providing vision both inside and outside of the pit, right? That's the...
Yeah, look, Alan, you're trying to argue with someone that's trying to argue that Bloodstone techies is a thing. So can we just...
Hey,
Never
I was
mind.
not going to do it.
Did you
did
really
it.
just
I
bring up
didn't do it.
techies?
He did it. Kyle, you cannot kill me. I was not allowed to say that
You
word.
are buying beer for everybody for the rest of the event, Paul.
See, this is what happens. The Dota coordinator goes down and Red's just like, oh, I'm desperate for content.
Yeah, not that desperate, though. Not that I
desperate.
wanted to spend the next 10 minutes talking about that.
No, I'll bring something else up.
I'm sorry. I apologize to everyone in the Dota 2 community right now.
Yeah, we're 2 for 2 here. First old and then techies. Great. I'm so happy. I'm leaving.
Doing well. Honestly, though, where is Dota 2 right now, Toby? You've been here since the very beginning. Is it in a good place, bad place, improving, going down, dying, dead game? Where is it?
It's still finding itself as we approach TI9.
Yeah.
Like the one thing which, like in Dota 2, which is always consistent, is the hardcore and never leaving community. Like, this is the type of thing that we're like whenever anyone tries to argue Dota is a dead game, they're an idiot. Because Dota will never die. Like, this isn't Hon, this is Dota. Like, it'll survive forever. And it's funny because we could be in a better place with some smoother things happening, but it's ironing it out, so those kind of things do happen.
Yeah. I mean, I think sometimes we're, dare I say it, a little spoiled.
A little?
Sometimes. No, I think you know, we're very demanding, aren't we, as a community? Very demanding as gamers, very demanding as esports fans, but...
Oh, shit, we're demanding. Everything's free to play. Please give me everything for free. I don't want to pay for anything, but I want the highest quality product.
Okay.
For free.
But I also think
this is important.
But I think that's good though, because I think it drives people that care and they want to do a better prize. So I think that works both ways. My point is more, we're stuck in a bubble sometimes, and we often don't go outside the bubble and realise just how bad some other communities are, or how different publishers treat their game, or
you don't even
how
need
the
to go
rules
down
come
that
in, or banning 5 supports gets
You
you
don't
a
even
fine.
need to go down
There's
that
all
road.
sorts of weird things, right? And we don't understand sometimes how lucky we are.
The point is, right, I've been critical of certain aspects of Valve and the DPC and Dota in general in the past because I think it's important that we have a dialogue about these issues as a community. But the most important thing is that 99% of the criticisms that I've levied boil down to it's not as good as it has been in the past.
Sure.
Like, we
But
have
some
a
things are
really
better.
good thing in Dota.
But some things are better.
See, this is the nostalgia thing. Is
Exactly.
everything was always better in the past.
Yeah,
And
easy to do.
It's the grass
beautiful
is always
thing.
greener.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about Dota, and I started realizing this over the last few years too, is we always come back.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I go, I'll be like, you know what? I don't want to play some Dota games for like 2 weeks or something, and I go play something else, and I'm like, this sucks. And I go back to Dota.
Yeah.
And I think everybody that plays Dota can relate. They always go and they're like, you know what? I'm going to play another game for like a month, maybe a month, maybe 2 months.
Yeah.
But then you get the itch. You're just thinking, you're like, oh, you didn't even watch a stream. You're like, oh, he played Earth Spirit. I'm going to do that. You suck ass completely. You don't do it at all like the way someone else did. You're terrible at the hero. But you know what? You tried. And that's what Dota is. It always has you coming back because you want to do what the best people can do.
I think it was one of the greatest things as well to temper your aggression of like how bad Dota could make you angry is by having the custom games you can just easily jump into. In Warcraft 3, like Dota was a custom game, but like I would jump out and like I'd be doing my malls or my line tower wars. Like these are the type of things that I would just go off and I'd chill with. Yep. And now like I chill with Dota 2 chess and then I go and play Dota. So like I'm not opening up a different game or to try something else because I find like I get very angry where I'm just like, oh guys, I just want to play something else. Like something else just to relax me.
Want to play Turbo with me? You're not a fan of Turbo, are you?
I've played one game myself.
I love it.
I use
much
Turbo
fun.
to get my compendium unlocks.
Did they ever rebalance kills in Turbo? Because I played a couple games
I
in
only
Turbos
played
and like
once.
kills matter too much. No, here's the thing. To talk about a game, one of the few games I'm worse at than Dota, golf. Dota's a lot like golf, where you can have a horrible day, but you make that one great shot, and it feels so good. That Earth Spirit game, you can feed all game long.
I think we've got 3 non-golfers on this field right now.
And you make that one. I hit that one perfect invoker spell combo, and it makes me want to hit that Q button.
I know. I get where you're coming from, Alan.
That was.
But I have to tell you,
reach.
right?
No.
No. Hear me out. I think he's right. I think the skill required to hit a ball, a tiny little ball, half a mile away to some flag in the middle of the countryside. I think that's an amazing ability, right?
A ball that can't hurt you, unlike other sports where a ball could hurt you.
But I
Dude,
get,
have you
I
ever
get the
been hit
skill.
with a golf
I get the
ball?
skill.
Have you been hit with a cricket ball?
My problem is, right, the commentary.
Oh yeah.
It's not comparable.
Sure,
Imagine Toby 1 doing golf.
Sorry.
And we all no longer have ears. Thank you, Toby.
I heard that was his next endeavor.
And then imagine a golf guy
I would've been
coming
a
back to
cricket
Dota. Can you
Oh
imagine
God.
it?
Hey, you know, I wanted to do this. I think I remember.
There's a fish in the river.
Hey, I threw it out there where I'm just like, the FIFA World Cup is so boring to watch right now that we should just take
There's
esports
the reverse
casters.
polarity.
That's it.
They come in for the combo. They're diving the fountain. Yeah, no.
He's golf commentating Dota, by the way, in case you hadn't
Doesn't
watched
work.
golf.
Hey,
I
watched.
think- all right, I'm sorry.
I watched Dakota and Lacoste do the golf commentary at what's that? The one of
funny
the
as
All-Star
hell.
match, and it was hilarious.
Oh yeah,
that was
that's right.
amazing.
That's right.
Yeah,
I just don't like quiet please signs. That's why I could never do golf.
right. But that only means the spectators. Doesn't mean you.
No, it does mean it
Yeah.
does mean you.
No, because you're in a commentary box. You're like off the golf course somewhere, getting a feed. It means everyone around the golfer be quiet.
All right, well, I guess my golf career is now starting, everybody. Anyone out there? Like, we're going to have golf streamed over on
I
Twitch
give
now,
it
right?
5
With-
minutes.
Sure.
Yeah,
IRL golf.
You know what? That's it. Like, we just gotta get the rights to stream out all this horrible stuff.
like that.
I mean, wonderful
Okay.
sports.
I like
I fall asleep in golf.
Yeah.
Like so much, and I love cricket.
Yeah.
Like that just tells you just how boring I think golf
Yeah.
is when you guys are sitting there.
Please.
Well, you don't even know what cricket is anyway.
We're like 0 for 3 on Phil's here. What are we? Age, golf? I mean, this is not going well, guys.
Hey, that's what I played as a kid. Like I played cricket as a kid.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Don't
fantastic.
the games take like 3 days?
Alan.
This is
Australian.
Oh yeah. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aussie. But Aussie kid plays every sport. Like we actually have the greatest sporting culture.
No.
Oh, no. What?
Aussie-
Darts?
Aussie kid-
Darts?
But
Well,
Aussie
actually, we do
kid-
darts. I don't need help. Like
I don't know which side is more appropriate, misery or help.
No, I think this
I'm
one just needs to be
definitely
with
having some
fogged.
misery here.
Oh, they're both accurate.
Like
Yes.
it's only really with fogged. Like that's the one you need
Yeah.
it on. Like
Are
he's the
you
only one.
feeling your rage right now? Feeling your rage?
Get me out. Can we not talk about golf, please, guys?
No,
I'm
absolutely.
sorry.
No, I'm moving on from that. I was going to talk
That
about
one was
rugby,
on
and
me.
cricket,
Rugby?
Okay, rugby I'm
and
down.
snooker.
Rugby, I'm down for.
Yeah, because they're all good Australian.
See, I did NRL.
Sports.
I did NRL in my lunch times, but never rugby. Like,
Can you explain to me why Australian rules footballers
it's one of the greatest games ever.
grab everyone's testicles?
What?
What in the?
What?
I'm done.
I think you're looking this up on the wrong sites, Red.
Did you just?
What? What they fight each other and they grab each other's,
Did Rich Campbell just
it's
like
called-
inhabit your body?
It's called a waist.
Right? Okay.
Waist tackle.
Right.
Toby, this is your first and last panel, I think, for quite a long time.
Why? Why? Because I'm influencing Red to start talking about people grabbing balls? Like that.
Exactly.
Yes,
This is not
yes.
my.
Exactly.
This
Yes.
is not my fault.
By
One
the
time
end
you're
of, by the
here
end
and
of Chongqing, I would have expected that question from Rich. That it came from Red. I don't know what
Hey,
to do.
for anyone out there who has never seen AFL, I highly suggest you go check it out because that sport is one of the most intense things ever. And you want to see a huge crowd in Australia, you go to an AFL game. That crap is cool.
Right.
And I'm an
what's
NRL
AFL?
boy.
What's AFL?
Australian Football League.
Right.
AFL. You know that thing?
Soccer or like kicking it?
I'm sorry, do you know, just because you're from Britain and you play Football Manager almost exclusively in your
Yes.
spare time,
Yes.
you don't know any other game with balls?
No, I do, but I don't know what AFL is. Is it the Australian rules thing I was talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It's
so
Aussie rules,
right,
AFL.
so the people that have a punch-up every game.
No, well, yeah, it happens a lot. But you
It's a Dota.
got to be a man.
Oh,
to play
God,
AFL.
thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
We've been
Thank you.
saved.
so
It's
much.
okay, everyone.
Hang
Dota
on.
community, stop
Hang
posting
on.
on Reddit. We've been
Hang on.
saved. The draft is live.
Can you guess who is who right now? Because my money is that's chaos on the left.
Yes, I would imagine so.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
think- I don't
the
think that they
team
would
that
ban Timber
banned
and-
Pango
yeah,
is
Pango.
Mineski.
Absolutely. And the tiny band like you were asking for. So
Yeah.
Thank you so much for bringing the draft up.
Saved.
You started that, Red.
No, you started that, Toby.
You
Who are
started
these
that.
two?
I would never
Oh,
have
look at
sunk
that.
low.
He's behind you.
Wow, bounty ban.
But look at the team names.
Yeah. Wait.
Chaos is the one that banned Pango. I mean, banning Timber against Ice is always. No, it's not even Ice anymore. What are you talking about? What the hell?
Is that reversed?
Yeah.
That should be
Is that right?
reversed.
Can we have a double check on that one? Because it feels.
Hey, okay.
Hey, we're
I'm
great
so
panelists.
Guys, good call.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I
Love
was like, that
it.
doesn't make
Good.
sense.
Yeah.
I was like, why the hell did Mineski ban Bounty Hunter?
You think bounty?
Really
You think?
proud of ourselves
Are
now.
you buying this bounty hunter thing, Fog?
Not too sure about it yet.
I'm a little more open-minded than I was a couple weeks ago.
Hey, if Navi can win with it, it's legit, right?
I'm not crazy about it, to be honest with you. I think it maybe can work, but I think when you look at the higher tier teams, it's not gonna work.
Like I'm after this event, I'm down with Nyx Assassin. Like that hero has shot up in my valuation, but I'm not quite there with bounty yet.
The Visage ban as well. Chaos hasn't played it in a bit either.
That's you know what though?
I know it's a staple.
You're attacking the hero pool of Wii.
Yeah.
And I think that's the right play. I actually think that's drafting against Chaos as Mineski. That's kind of what I want to do.
Absolutely. That's what I was
His,
when you were asking me.
his
I
top
was
three
saying
most played of this month so far: Wind Ranger, Tinker, Visage.
Tinker. I actually didn't get to see their Tinker games. Really?
I do not think Tinker is a hero right now, though.
I don't either. but
Timber, sorry, not Tinker.
Oh, Timber.
Oh,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I missed those? Wow, that sounds great.
Timber.
You don't miss anything. You do every event. you miss absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Fog.
Wind Ranger, Timber, Visage, Elk.
Okay.
Okay.
So Tiny's out of the pool.
His
we
next
got-
We
three,
don't know
by the
whether
way.
we don't know they have first pick Nyx.
NP?
It's
They
Chen.
might take away
It's
the
Chen.
Chen. They're going to go back to the Chen. Okay.
Okay.
This
It's-
is what they
it's-
played. So they played this for the first time in 11
months yesterday.
Yesterday.
In a must-win game against Forward Gaming. Yep.
He's just the perfect meta hero right now, right? Like everyone,
Oh,
every
absolutely.
team is prioritizing Chen.
I mean, I think a lot of people missed the mark a little bit when they talked about, well, they basically just gave him Coddle's old ult with the recall, but he can use it starting at 2 or 3 minutes.
He's at level 2. You just bring an extra hero.
Yeah,
Or
that's
you save
amazing.
yourself TPs. Or you save so many different aspects. Yeah, it's really cool actually. And even just his divine favor, right?
Yeah, it's
Divine Favor
the
is
enabling
amazing.
of your level 1. Like at level 1, you can just have your safe laner run at the off laner and not have any kind of issues.
So I can't argue with a first pick Lifestealer too much because obviously he's been one of the heroes of the patch, but one of the things that surprised me looking at the numbers is just how big a late game hero Nyx has become in this patch. He is only 41-40 in games that end before 40 minutes. He's 25-13 in games that go past the 40-minute mark. You know, so many people going that Mightiest Radiance build, focusing on the late game.
Yeah, and they go for the NP. I thought they were going to actually pick the NP first before the
I did too. But that was one of the heroes. I think it was a mistake by Mineski not to ban that Prophet.
Yeah, but it was their choice, right? Like they wanted to ban against Ro4a. Now Chaos have an easy delivery system for the Lifestealer globally. Like this is an older combination as well, even when you ran the Prophet as the 4.
He just protects him too in lane. That's the biggest thing for these Nature's Prophets. They're just these beasts in laning phase. You can't actually contest them with many heroes. Mineski's gonna go for the Ursa, so versus, you know, they're trying to get the good car matchup, Ursa versus Lifestealer.
Now they have not, I believe they have not run the Ursa in the last 2 patches. So this is 2 heroes. Chen run only once yesterday in the last 11 months. Ursa, no games for Mineski in the last couple of patches. These are 2 heroes that they haven't played a lot.
Yeah, it's hero specific.
Oh, actually,
it's exactly
absolutely,
because of that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's also Ursa, like Treants and stuff. Like, you're not going to be in that lane, maybe. Actually, that could be KP's hero, to be honest. That could be the pressure lane. So you don't care too much about Treants because you're pretty high armor. Sure, you got the -2 armor last patch, right? So you're now at 5 instead of 7 from level 1, but you're still really tanky. You can deal with those Treants.
And you mentioned KP. I think that's a really smart take. One of the things I really love about Ursa is that as long as your team has a control advantage, which is a little concerning considering the Chen first pick, but as long as your team has good control, Ursa can do his job even if he's a little bit underfarmed. He still outputs that big hero damage.
I'd just be concerned when you don't have a big stunner on KP. Like he's always that one that needs to be able to follow up with the stunner control factor. The fact that even Chaos even banned Enigma in the 4th position, like it makes me swing a little bit more to your logic that this could actually just be a KP Prophet, but it puts more pressure on the supports to do work.
But remember though, Toby, that's part of the reason though that I thought we saw KP fall off a little bit in the later days with Newbie is early on with them, KP was so flexible. You never quite knew what he was going to be, and then all of a sudden, following their success at TI7, they ran him almost exclusively on these teamfight heroes. We lost that kind of flexible
It's like,
feeling.
what's KP playing? Centaur. What's KP playing? Oh, Centaur again.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I still think as a player, he's a lot better when he's being more aggressive.
Agreed.
Like Aussies are lazy. You need to get him off the chair first, and then they'll start fighting. So. Like anything like Slaughters, like his Enigmas, like his Tidehunters, anything which is able to really get up in the face and be a real hero and not just be this, I have to come back from behind. Like, I'm all for that.
We mentioned Chen yesterday as being, hadn't played it in 11 months. They've played Ursa once in the last 12 months, by the way. It was against OG at TI, and they lost.
Okay.
Again, it's exactly as we heard in the interview.
Yeah,
this is a
stuff.
team that's searching for answers.
It almost makes it unusual, though, that the 6 games that they lost in a row, Alan, they weren't experimenting that much.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, if you're going to experiment. But you didn't. And then all of a sudden, when your tournament life's on the line, you're experimenting.
Well, I think you've got to try something different. What you were doing was so clearly not working.
Now they banned the PA, yeah. I think that they're looking back and they're like, wait, I think it is going to more than likely be this Ursa in the offlane. I'm not 100% on it, but I think they picked it because it's flexible. So they know they can change it. I like the 2 Mineski bans, the delivery systems for that Lifestealer, and also just playing Ursa versus Batrider is just not very fun.
Well, the other clever thing about having the Ursa here is that it really deters you. If you were looking at a melee hero mid, if you were looking at something like a Kunkka mid, you at least have to think twice about that.
Yeah, very flex. Ember's still left in this game.
Yeah. Yep. Monkey's still there.
I expect that this Lifestealer is going to be in the hands of HFN, which, you know, takes away maybe a little bit of the flex value of that Prophet, but still.
I've been waiting for, you were talking about Veno earlier and how it wasn't really touched. I've been waiting for the Venos to come back when I've been seeing these Ursas and stuff. Like Ursas and Magnuses, like the Veno used to just be the king to deal with them.
Yeah.
Man, I like that more from Chaos if they actually did get something like the Magnus. Have the Prophet bouncing around the map. Enable the lifesteal a little bit harder.
It also, you know, we probably don't have to worry about this until 5 more picks go by, but it's got to be said, the Meepo is still in the pool as the draft goes on here.
Yeah. It's definitely, you get to that 6th ban, and it's one that you kind of just, it's a double check, isn't it?
Yeah, you
You
should.
just kind of go, okay, who are we playing? Oh, oh crap, yeah, they're the Meepo Brood guys. We better ban one of those.
Oh, we banned Timber Visage? Yeah, we should get rid of the
we should
Meepo
definitely
too.
get rid of the Meepo, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oracle.
I am all right with it with the worry though that if NP Oracle end up as your two supports, you just have,
Yeah.
and doesn't it kind of lock down the NP?
Yeah, it does. It's a dispel though versus that Ursa, so the Fury
Yeah.
swipes inside the lane are just going to be like negated really hard. It gives you some catch, gives you a save. I mentioned it the other day that I usually like seeing this hero when it is you have something key that you can dispel, or like a crucial save. This one, it's not. The hero's just been on the rise anyway too, though, so that as well. I
Yeah,
think that
fair
hero's
enough.
actually just getting stronger and stronger, and people are starting to realize it.
Yeah.
That's even in the tail end of the last patch. We saw it
Yeah.
on the rise at CQ.
Just feels so easy. Like when you have save, you've got disarms, you've got like it seems like such a great hero pickup. But you're all right. Like we're looking at a lineup right now which has one projectile stun. And that's kind of it for Chaos.
Yeah.
And Mineski are
Okay.
answering back, and they're going to have the
Wow.
Chen army. They're going to have a Winter Wyvern for even better team control.
That's a really nice pick.
Makes it very difficult for any kind of like. You still got the magical damage to get through the Cold Embrace.
Oh,
Another
I
hero
mean,
they haven't played much of. They haven't played this Wyvern for more than 3 months.
the big question, right? I talk about your Ursa and the importance of empowering that hero, importance of locking down that control advantage. You now have your big BKB piercing disable. Winter Wyvern not quite the wave clearer that it once was, but still adequate, I guess.
Yeah, still pretty damn good.
You were talking about the Venom?
Yeah.
Mineski have not played the Venom.
Okay. I was thinking for Chaos. Oh, that's the other
Yeah.
one. Okay, so they take a Razor.
So you were
here.
thinking about it for the Chaos.
Yeah, I was just
so
thinking
they're going to go
versus
Razor.
and
Yep.
stuff. Like, I didn't think we'd see the Veno anyway, but I was just thinking the hero kind of just disappeared.
Yeah, yeah.
It's that one you play, then you sound legendary on a panel, right? Like if it comes up,
Oh, it's just like
it's easy.
we used to see it on versus the Ursas and Mags a lot. It would just be the telltale pick that people would do.
I'm not sure about this though. I really am not. I mean, Razor into Ursa
Is
is not necessarily something I love.
Is it really that bad? Like you start the initiation off, and Ursa has to run away if the static link does go on the Ursa.
Nah,
Ursa can
so,
kill you through it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
He doesn't care.
Ursa is like the
swipes to
only
enough.
one of the only melee heroes that can stand and fight when he's linked.
Yeah.
That's my concern.
How long have these guys been Chaos now? 3 months, 4 months? Or
About
maybe not that long. I can't remember. I only asked because
They were Chaos at the major.
They were okay. Yeah.
It was just after KL, I think,
Was it?
that that changed.
Okay. All right. Well, they haven't played the Razor
About a month,
under
it
their
says.
current club.
yeah, about a month it
Oh,
says
only a
on
month, okay.
here.
Yeah.
But that's
Only a
that's
month?
based on their
Okay,
official game, so
Yeah, yeah.
it might have been a little bit before they went to the major. So
They
Yeah,
definitely played it as
Alright.
pain.
So Mineski, we're probably going to find out a lot about where this Ursa is going to be based on this next pick.
yeah, I'm wondering the Razor pick is a little curious to me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it's usually you pick it, sure, it's like okay versus the Ursa. It's not great, but usually it's like you see it like a life stealer and you pick it. You see a troll warlord and you pick it.
Exactly.
That's not the
or
same.
even a lone druid. You
yeah,
know, so
even alone.
You do basic. No.
They take it.
what?
Mineski, grab it.
That's why they took the Wyvern.
OMG.
Oh my!
Now the Wyvern makes more
God.
sense to me. I was trying to figure out this Wyvern.
Oh my god.
Does what?
Do they have it? They don't have AoE. They don't have what things to deal with this
they have
Meepo
nothing. They have absolutely nothing. And oh my God, they played it at Mineski, played it at Hamburg. They lost to Pain.
They've out Meepo'd a Meepo team.
I
they
don't know if they've out Meepo'd a Meepo team though.
How's
Remember,
that?
But in the
lane?
draft they have.
the last time that they played, the last time Mineski played Meepo was against Pain at Hamburg.
Wow.
It's, I don't know.
You're right. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Huh.
They've only played it 4 times in the last 12 months, this Meepo.
Well, it looks like a pretty good Meepo
Yes,
game.
Yeah.
You know, like the lane Razor, it's the same concept. Doesn't matter what happens. The Meepo goes to the jungle, so Chaos, they're gonna have to be able to invade.
It's pain, wasn't it?
And this is this is a much better draft by Mineski than I gave them credit for now.
Yeah.
That-
I don't
that
see a
saves-
huge
that
amount
saves
of
your fifth,
4th pick Meepos either, by the way.
Yeah.
They're usually 5th picks.
Oh man, what is the solution here?
You don't have great AoE control. Do you still want to run the Prophet 3 when you're up against a Meepo?
Well, but the problem again, the problem is
Look at
that
Rihanna's
once
face,
you
by the
pick
way.
that Oracle, once you pick that Oracle, do you really want Oracle and Prophet as your support duo?
You may not have a choice. You need some level of AoE control against this.
Give me another Titan, please.
They banned Monkey. Monkey would have been at least one half option for
What,
it.
ET for which team?
Chaos.
Yeah, I think you're right.
ET?
I actually think you're totally right.
Could be core.
What's the best counter left for Meepo here?
It all hinges on whether or not you're willing to bump that NP back to 5.
And then
Man, that's a nice draft.
Their AoE control is wonderful. Single target is great. Their map pressure is great.
You can still flip-flop the Puck and Ursa depending on this pick for Chaos, what the lane matchups are going to look like. You have a lot of protection for Meepo as he wants to farm neutrals in the mid game. You're going to be able to keep Chaos off your side of the map. It sets up so nicely. It comes down to execution. You're playing Meepo against a team that is ridiculously good with Meepo.
Yeah, they know what to do against that hero too.
Oh!
Oh, that's another one.
Hey, do you know what? I predicted that.
Yeah?
Yeah. Pick up that card.
Everyone can see. He did.
Okay. All right.
He did write it.
There's Huskar written on a card right here.
There is Huskar written on a card.
I think he's got another 10 cards there without the heroes written
Oh,
down.
you're right. No, he didn't. He didn't. I saw him do it. I saw him do it.
Like it's the
When you see the Oracle, right?
the third pick Oracle
Yeah,
is the one
exactly.
that always gives it away, particularly with these boys.
But what's it like? You have no control. You have no stun.
This is just cheese versus cheese, Alan.
But you're playing against Meepo. You have no stun.
But you
Doesn't
have
matter.
an AoE disarm that pushes him away.
You have Sprout and you have AoE disarm.
And you have Huskar throwing spears in.
Like what? That just sounds so hard to play. Like Husker could crush his lane and go wild, of course. But man, if Meepo gets online in this game,
Which he will, because he just goes jungle, right?
it's so hard to play against him.
Has it it's such a confusing draft.
It's an awesome draft.
It's great as far as
freaking
fun,
awesome.
right? Yeah. So, but does it help any of you decide who's had the better draft?
I like the Meepo a little bit more, but I can't
The
see...
Mineski draft has a more balance to it, right?
Yeah, but I can see the Oracle Huskar just...
Right.
They could just take over, and
Yeah.
this Meepo could just become a non-factor also, so...
Okay.
It's just
I'm actually leaning more towards Chaos. Like, I think the Meepo is good, but I think Chaos, like, they'll play good Dota. They know how to execute what they've got. And, yeah, laning-wise, I think they're going to be looking pretty nice, especially with that influence from the Prophet.
snowball game. Glue yourselves to that screen in the first 10, 12 minutes because that's where the game's going to be decided.
Thank you very much to all three of you. Fantastic. What a great draft. Very exciting. Lots of cheese, lots of Huskar, lots of Meepo. Got a bit of everything in this game. Can obviously please us all. Enjoy as game one is about to begin.
There's always something special when you get the matchup of Southeast Asia versus South America, and at least when it comes to Mineski versus Chaos, it seems that link comes down to Meepo. The last time the Mineski picked up the Meepo, it was also a fourth pick in the exact same draft position against Pain, and they lost. But it seems like they're coming into this with some renewed confidence, as they're still going to pick up that Meepo, and they're matched into a little bit of a cheese flavor of their own. Chaos with the last pick, Huskar.
Febby, he's walking into a trap right now as they're smoked up. They're going to spot him.
Wow, what a setup from Chaos. King RD is going to be able to get one disabled, but no follow-up there from Chaos.
Yeah, that was weird because we and Misery were both in the area, but they're just going to let him walk out, and you are correct. I mean, Meepo against Chaos, that's a bold move.
Meepo experts on both sides. Chaos proved that they could defeat the Meepo. Last time around, it was with their signature Ro4a Invoker. This time around, it's going to be the Oracle Huskar duo. That's kind of the cheese here for Chaos.
The thing about playing against Meepo is there's two ways to do it. Either you always have one way to deal with him, a la Sven, Earthshaker, one of those heroes, Wyvern, or you have, I thought is Moon, going to get caught on heavily here.
Chaos is going to be able to defend their bounty here and get some damage on the outgoing Mineski team. So we are going to have the split 2 for 2.
Easy does it so far as Pi in this bottom lane to start things off. He's going to eventually bring in KP. They want to try to get this matchup with the Lifestealer against the Ursa. And they're going to be successful in doing so, as now Pi going to TP up here. He knows that he's not needed in this bottom lane.
So you were saying about how do you defeat a Meepo lineup. The panel was particularly concerned about the lack of disables on the side of Chaos.
Oh, for sure. But there's always two ways to deal with them. Is one, you always have one of those, you know, all-encompassing heroes, or you've got a draft that works around it. Or two, you just end the game before he gets online. Because this hero needs time.
This is going to be just a fast lineup for Chaos that they're going to look to end as quick as possible.
Yeah, I think that's why they took the Huskar Oracle, because this lineup can do Roche really early on and then just push down the lanes. Hopefully the Meepo can't really hold. And that's why I think they took it forced, so that they could pick some sort of hero that could stall out the game with their 5th pick, which is what they went with in the Puck. The Puck's going to allow Ajit a lot of room, a lot of freedom, because he can cut waves, he can be aggressive on the map, and he can create some space.
He's a dangerous high ground defender as well, right? He's going to be able to set up...
oh, look at this top lane as KP.
Yeah.
Because he got teleported down to that bottom lane, he didn't have to use his TP, so when HFN decided to move away from the Ursa, KP was very easily able to follow him.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing. I love the opening that we had there from Mineski. With the opening of Chen and then the follow-up of the Ursa to be able to get that lane matchup against the Lifestealer, you can't ever dodge against a Chen. He just gives you free TPs. Like, how can you possibly hope to be able to outmaneuver that kind of freedom?
Yeah, now he's got the mana burn creep, which is quite effective against King RD. Yeah. He's already just at 50 mana, not really going to be able to do much here to harass this Ursa. That's one way they could have potentially won the lane, but that's just being removed entirely, and that's why Misery is now going to show himself up at top. And they're just going to leave Tavo alone at this bottom lane.
And Tavo should be perfectly fine. He's got a good matchup himself, the Razor versus the Puck. We used to see that matchup in mid fairly often. In a side lane, I have to presume it's even better for Razor.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, Puck actually has ways to get away. You can reset a little bit. As soon as you get boots too, you're going to be okay. Moon's just going to orb out every single time this happens. And hopefully your Wyvern just gets levels by doing the pull, and maybe you can get aggressive with him with the Arctic Burn.
That is one of the most annoying advantages that Radiant has, is that hard camp pull that they're able to do. But Tavo,
real low.
He's going to be chased down underneath the tier 1 tower. Nice hit. Moon is going to be the one to pick up that kill.
And that's exactly the type of aggression I was talking about, that the Wyvern allows you with the Puck, and this is why the lane's kind of okay. In a pure one-on-one, yes, it's annoying because the Puck can never use his orb offensively. But in a situation like this where you can sit back, your Wyvern is getting levels anyways, you're going to win this 2-on-1.
So Chaos, now they're going to make a quick adjustment. They're going to move King RD to the bottom lane and leave it in a 2v2 at top. As we can see, KP's not going to let down. He's going to keep up that aggression. He was beating back Misery earlier. Now he starts getting the stacks up on HFN. They're going to try and limit this Lifestealer's early laning phase farm as much as possible, but it's not really working yet. HFN has 16 CS, and our Ursa, KP, only at 10.
Yeah, but he's getting aggressive on him. You see every single time the Lifestealer decides to step up, the Ursa's just getting into a right-click war with him is...
Oh, that's some big stacks right there. HFN's going to have to burn through a ton of regen.
And now for at least a little bit, the Sal from Misery's going to come out. He's going to TP back in. No Dagon shenanigans from him. And because of this is going to allow KP to catch up in CS, which is pretty crucial for him, is he needs phase boots as soon as possible. Once again, he's just starting to lay down the power onto the Lifestealer. Not an easy lane for him, and for Chaos, this has got to be a little bit troublesome right now. The fact that potentially 2 lanes aren't winning, their mid lane they already know is sort of just going to be a draw, as the Meepo always has the jungle to play on. The Meepo probably cares the least about how his mid lane goes. Even more so than some sort of SF that has stacks, Meepo can just jungle from the get-go.
Yeah. All Meepo does is like get level 3 and then just goes jungles. Abandons the lane super early. Now, we are seeing Weehan take full advantage of that. He's 31-22. You look at the net worth, he's way ahead of everybody else simply because of all that extra gold he's getting from the denies. But, I mean, Meepo, as you said, doesn't really care too much about that.
I'd imagine Huskar's not terrible. You are single target focused, but Inner Fire has to be quite decent against the Meepo. There's no BKB that you're getting as a Meepo.
Yeah.
So the disarm is always going to be very
Fight over the bounty runes. Ajit is going to be able to catch the Furion. He grabbed both the bounty rune and managed to get the kill on Misery.
Did you see how he did that, by the way? He had the illusion rune, so he sent one of the illusions up as well, I think. He had it going up to the bounty rune anyways.
Weehaw. The lane being completely empty. We've got that 5-minute siege wagon coming through, so he's hoping to be able to get a lot of damage on that mid-tier 1 tower. We'll see how Mineski respond to that threat. It seems like Pylai is going to start making the rotation over, and he's going to grab that siege wagon. Make sure he can't do any harm. Moon here, bottom lane, is going to be in trouble. Burst down real quick by King RD.
And an unlikely kill, but a kill nonetheless. So normally you wouldn't see that puck die. And already we, up to his level 6, been completely uncontested like you said.
Here comes Uchid in the middle lane. Pylai is kind of tempting him. Does manage to sneak out, grabs that siege creep to make sure they can't continue the damage. Now Weehaw's going to be grabbed here. The inner fire is going to be able to push back the Meatball right as he went for the big blast.
There's no mana though.
KP is here. Nice. Weehaw trying to juke a little bit, just get a little bit of distance by using the light break onto that siege wagon.
Oh, that was so well done. That gives him just enough distance to get away, as you don't have the best base move speed on the Huskar, but able to get himself just barely away. And if KP has any sort of mana there, it's most likely a kill.
Weehaw's just going to keep jumping, get some more damage onto the Meepo, but bottom lane, Tavo. Actually, nice jump by Moon. Even though it was an offensive one, he still managed to break that link. Moon has to back up, though, as King RD always sitting there, waiting to protect and heal Tavo.
And my big concern right now is Tavo's game is not being enabled whatsoever. They really wanted him to be able to lane up against the Ursa. And if you have Lifesteal against Puck, there's almost no way that Lifesteal gets harassed whatsoever.
Yeah.
The lane configuration anyways has definitely gone in Mineski's favor. They're really happy with how the side lanes at least paired up. And that just goes back to, like you said, Pylai die with the Chen, able to just teleport him for free. So you're always going to win that sort of map movement as Moon. He's thrown out the orb, so they try to get aggressive, but it's unlikely that he falls for the same trick twice.
He really is such a great lane winner, right? Because you always get the lane matchup you want. Then on top of that, you don't have to worry about siege wagon pushes. You could just steal the siege wagon away, and you can turn it around on the enemy. And we've seen so many Chens do that, where they're able to pressure a tower in that first 5-minute rotation. Here, Pylai just using it defensively on mid, making sure their tier 1 mid doesn't fall too early. Febi's going to join him here in order to kill some of those creeps and get some levels.
Yeah, part of the problem is that normally when this happens, you just let one of your supports go mid, but nobody really wants to be against Wii right now, who already almost has that armlet completed. And the timing of this game is going to be so sped up for him just because of how free of a lane he has had. And then things like the Roshan open up.
Running him down, HFN, protected by Misery Sprout.
And that's probably going to prompt the Lifestealer to maybe also try to catch up. He does have that Gloves of Haste. I'd imagine that he's going to try to go for a catch-up Midas, and that's indeed what he's going to try to do, at least, as Weehaw now almost just about has the armlet. And I'd really like to see an early Rosh from them. Try to slow down the timing of the Meepo, just start pushing down towers, force Ajit to get a little bit more aggressive than he'd like to.
From behind, and the pull-in of KP as well. No chance for Tavo to get out of here alive. You said Tavo's game was already rough, and it gets that much worse as he's ganked by the Chen and the +1.
Yeah, Tavo's...
Oh, look at that, KP just immediately TVs back up to the top lane, starts putting some pressure onto the Nature's Prophet, slowed down by the open wounds of HFN. They start doing some damage to him, but KP has built up enough stacks and has enough movement speed, and he doesn't have to worry too much about that Lifestealer.
And they're scanning to check real fast if anybody's behind him, as they want to get aggressive, but the ward is spotting this all the way through as Tavo makes his rotation into. Moon doesn't have the coil, but KP thinking about getting aggressive. Tavo has stolen a decent amount, but that's going to fly in.
Grab him with the ensnare, Tavo.
His game gets even worse here as Misery going to complete the TP, but they might just lose the mid tower for that, as instead of going back to base, he immediately makes the aggressive move to try to take this tower. They know they have to try to enable Tavo's game, and
Bevy's been doing such a great job of slowing this down with constant splinter blasts, but eventually Weehaw will take this tower.
Yeah, now that he's got the armlet, it's very unlikely that...
He's fully committed here. Nice!
The deny.
The fast attack will enable him to get the deny on the tower. The inner fire is going to push KP back. He has to light break up, but Weehaw's dead with the coil on Misery. He's dead as well. That's a double kill for KP.
That is such a disaster. They got the deny on the tower too. They hard committed for that. They popped their glyph. They try to all in for that tower. And they know they have to do something on the map because HFN is relegated to the jungle. Tavo is wherever he's going, he's just a feed station. So they all in commit for that mid tower, but they lose 2 heroes instead. Now the game for Mineski gets a lot easier. Is Pi going to take this catapult himself? I'd imagine that they want to try to pressure this mid tower themselves. Is Weehaw going to make his move back here as he starts the jump?
Nice dodge there by Moon. Pilot Die not going to be as lucky. Just heavy burst damage coming out from that Oracle, who is level 6. Tavo, meanwhile, talking about his ruined game, he's still level 5. It's 10.5 minutes in. You don't see that very often, that a core still does not have his ultimate at that 10-minute mark.
He's trying to farm with the 1 level of Plasma Field, but he's got the Midas queued up himself. And now this puts you in sort of an awkward position because you've got this fast tempo hero in this Huskar who, you know, he's going to build the Halberd next, try to get as aggressive as possible, but then you've got 2 cores on your team that just straight up have to build Midas because they've gotten so far behind.
And so there's just not going to be enough people to play with that Huskar.
Yeah, it's just going to be a bunch of people farming right now. That's exactly what we see. We see HFN forced to jungle. We see the Huskar jungling. I mean, pretty much everybody aside from Tavo is jungling on the side of Chaos, and that's just going to allow Mineski to sort of do the same, but it's going to go much faster for the Meepo. I mean, this is just what a standard Meepo game looks like.
Yeah, he's already got the 4 Wraith Bands and the Power Treads, so he's fully statted up. Meanwhile, Mineski just very happy with the map that they control. You've always got Febby in some sort of situation where he's pushing out lanes with the Splinter Blast. Got the Ursa always positioning himself very aggressively, ready to invade HFN's jungle, which is what he's going to do right now. No one fast available for HFN. Fortunately, he's fast enough to stay out of the claws of the big Ursa bear.
Yeah, and you notice the Ursa also not going for any levels of the Ur Shock, just because I think he knows that everyone can dispel it.
Weehaw is going to be able to jump on a Moon here, forcing him to TP back to base. (6-2), a very even net worth game, but I mean, it sounds like from your analysis, Blitz, that Mineski is definitely ahead just solely for the fact that they haven't gotten run over in the laning phase, and the Meepo is eventually going to come online at this point. It's inevitable. They can't end the game, at least in this current state, they can't end the game before he comes up.
Yeah, I'm still sort of okay with things just because the Huskar are so massive, and I feel like Weehaw is going to still have a pretty good game.
They may not be killing Lifestealer, but I'm sure they're pissing him off at this point. They just keep on running at him, and he has to abandon some camp that he's farming. Febby trying to get away from that link. He's trying to break it desperately. He just can't get far enough away. They know where he is, but fortunately, they can't see him. Therefore, they can't attack him. Top lane, Pilot Die is going to die. Weehaw managed to catch him. The Huskar comes over. The HFN was probably telling him, look, you got to punish them for constantly invading my jungle like this.
And I sort of need Aja to get more aggressive on the map. Just a little bit. Send one Meepo around trying to create moves. The pace of the game stalling like this probably does benefit the team with 2 Midases. HFN has been in the same jungle for quite some time, and now KP making his way over wants to try to get somewhat aggressive at least. Force HFN back a little bit.
Moon going to be forced to use the coil here. He's going to phase shift as well, and well, Weehaw's going to drop very low. Interfire's going to be able to push KP back, but he's slowed down now by Febby. Make sure to get the Splinter Blast. Not even needed. KP is dominating, but it's not just him. It's really Pilot Die who is enabling him so much, just pulling him in for these free kills. Now he's going to try and run down King RD, who does still have the False Promise, so it seems an unlikely kill.
And still KP trying to get aggressive. He's got a Midas of his own, and that's enabled him to get this Blink Dagger at the same time. He's kept up in levels. He now overtakes both Weehaw and HFN for the highest net worth. Roshan is also available to them as soon as they take down this mid tower, which I'd imagine they'd like to do quite soon. That's probably going to be predicated on the timing of this Meepo Blink Dagger trying to get to the back line. HFN likely to just go for the normal build that we see, which is the Radiance. He doesn't really have the best targets to jump into. I'd imagine that's what they were saving Weehaw's hero for before it turned into a Meepo game.
Blink Dagger is now up for the Meepo, so you can see Ajit. In fact, he's going to reveal it here at bottom lane. He's going to be able to jump on a Misery. Misery protecting himself with the Sprout. Unfortunately, he can't teleport away. with that ensnare on him, so he only buys himself a few seconds before the inevitable 8-3 now, 15 minutes in. Mineski, despite having a big kill lead, and now going to be able to go on to Tavo in top lane. KP, he doesn't care about the loss of damage. It's the Fury swipes that does the deed.
And he also only has 2 levels of Static Link. He's gone for a more heavy build in Unstable Current. It allows him to farm, hit neutrals, which I think he's trying to come back into the game. So now they're playing around this mid area. I'd really like for this mid tower and this Roche. That's why you see Ajit with the Blink Dagger now. He's starting to get aggressive everywhere, but it's already been dewarded here, and I think they have spotted him. Yes, with the ward that they have themselves. And they're pinging towards this mid tower, and this is the right idea. Take this mid tower down.
Going to KP. He's forced to use his enrage to dodge some of his damage, which means he's going to be kind of a sitting duck here as he tries to run over to the tier 2. Nowhere he can really run to, though.
And this team is really split up right now. On the side of Mineski, you've got 2 heroes mid, 2 heroes top, 1 in the jungle. They really should be playing together right now.
I mean, KP, he's been playing this way the entire time. Maybe he's just waiting for that first death to punish him, and then maybe he'll dial it back. But, I mean, if you're not being punished, right, you might as well keep pushing it to the limits.
And Ro4a misses tower deny, actually, allowing the creeps to just grab him pretty passively.
In the mid lane?
Yeah, that's why he went for the, he said affirmative, and his team pinged him for a sec.
Halberd coming in for him soon. Now that that mid-tier 1 tower is down.
Okay, see, mid tower's been taken.
Threat.
Now they're pinging Roche. This is the correct move. This is the correct sequence of events. For Chaos to do the same thing, they'd have to take down this top tier 1 tower. But they can't really play that area. Yeah.
It's so hard to take the off-lane tower compared to the safe lane one, right?
Yes, and that's why, I mean, Ajit is pinging it. I think they really want to do this soon. They just had to take down that mid tower first, and they want to definitely get rid of it from Chaos's hands at least.
It's a little surprising to me how little control Chaos have over that area. There's not really any vision. They're not grouping up around that area either. Their Huskar's playing on the bottom side of the map.
I mean, it sort of makes sense, right? Because on the side of Chaos, you don't really have any playmakers. But you literally have 0 heroes that can really start fights. I don't think they don't have a single like hard stun. Their only disable is Fortune's End. If you look at their team, and I guess against certain heroes, the Sprout would be pretty effective, but that's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. They just have a bunch of slows. So as soon as BKBs happen, and the game gets a little bit complicated.
He wants Tavo. He's been wrecking Tavo's game.
Go into the Roche pit right now.
The full 18 minutes, and he'll do it again here.
I think you just walk in. They can't stop you.
You know it's bad when the Razor has a Ghost Scepter as his second item. Mineski, so many pings, but they're going to try and pick up Ro4a before they go for the Roshan. Life break over to Pylai Die onto the high ground, almost killing him. He tries to go for the heal. Looks like he'll take out here, but KP immediately jumping onto the Huskar. He will fall, and look at that. Bebby finds the extra kill, potentially stopping King RD from being able to save his Huskar, and also making sure that now Moon is going to be able to catch up. King RD may be able to keep himself alive here, actually, with that false promise to TP out. How did Aji die?
I think he just had too many stacks on him.
Damn.
King RD going to make it out just fine. They really need the Aegis on the Meepo. As now, HFN, he has done nothing but hit creeps 0-0-0. I think he realizes his team is just not going to fight right now.
Yeah.
And it looks like Mineski just got way too split there. I think they just assumed the Huskar was dead no matter what, so they started splitting and looking for more. And as a result, they just lose heroes.
And what a big difference this is going to make. Now we have a Radiant. The Lifestealer is inside one of those ancient creeps. It's so hard to deal with this in a team fight. 2,000 HP Magic Immune creep that is just burning you non-stop. I'm not sure if they could take Roshan now. They probably could have a minute, 2 minutes ago, but...
Yeah. I think their timing is a lot more complicated than it used to be, and Pylai Die just simply can't even stand up next to it.
If he gets punched once or twice...
I think he's just dead.
I think so too. HFN's going to pop out. Now KP is going to try and punish HFN, but here's Tavo. He's going to start draining some of that damage away from KP. HFN maybe trying to turn around to help out Tavo, but Tavo's got a little bit too far. Caught by the Meepo. Fortunately, the Ghost Scepter will actually save him so much pain, and there goes the Oracle save as well. HFN on top of Febby, waiting for that Cold Embrace to be able to wear out, and eventually will be able to kill him.
And Moon just used the coil on HFN, who was raged up, just kind of walked off. They needed that control.
They certainly did. These fights are getting weird and a little sloppy, and great for Chaos.
Yeah, Mineski is just sort of doing things in such an awkward moment. Like, they go for one hero on one side. They're not really combining their spell usage. And they should, in theory, have the superior team fight because they have actual disables. And on the side of Chaos, I mean, they just don't.
Moon, missing the orb and apparently not even going to try to look for Misery.
If he hits the orb, it's likely a kill with the DD and the Veil.
Yeah.
You hit both spells, that's 800 damage, and now it's...
The Chen creep has been inside Roshan this entire time. Chaos have not tried to go into it.
Oh, this is not
until
good.
now. They feel like they're strong enough. They don't care if Mineski knows that they're doing Roshan. And that's maybe in part because they have both the Radiance and the Halberd now. This team fight is so much different than it was just 2 or 3 minutes ago.
They gotta do something about this. It's about to die right now.
They're gonna come in. Ro4a is gonna be saved by that false promise. Age is gonna be picked up by him as well. He's gonna life break onto KP, make sure that he dies. Now there is gonna be the cold embrace, but he's just stacking up those fire spears. There's gonna be magic damage followed up as well. Nice curse, but it is just HFN. The big threat of the Huskar marches onward as he has another life break. Febby will be able to TP out, and it looks like Ajit's a little bit too far away to catch.
Still has the Aegis on him too. Got full healed by that Oracle. And Chaos, in fact, going for the Roshan themselves. And the opportunity was so open for Mineski. They've got an Ursa.
Yeah.
They've got a Meepo. You had a lineup in Chaos that just wasn't interested in fighting. They went 2 different Midases, and their Razor really couldn't do anything. But instead, it's just going to be Chaos that sort of just walk in off the timing of the Radiance Lifestealer.
You know, Blitz, what that says to me is like there's such a big difference in the structure of the calls between these two teams, right? It was very clear that Chaos, they reached a peak and they immediately just forced Roshan.
Yes.
Misery made the call. He's like, we're going Roshan. We have Halberd, we have Radiance. They can't beat us, and they did it. Mineski, meanwhile, you know, kind of messed around, tried to go for the Huskar kill. They're going to lose Pylai Die here to HFN.
It was just weird because you saw this Lifestealer go 0-0-0. You knew he was very clearly not interested in fighting for a full 15 minutes.
Yes.
And so I feel like at that moment in the game, Mineski should just be aggressive all around the map. Ro4a was the only hero trying to get anything done. And most of the kills that they had on the map were because they tried to gank him and he turned it around. There wasn't any real ganks happening on the side of Chaos. But now you've got actual items, and those Midases have paid off. And the fact that they were able to just walk into that Roshan pit, pick up an Aegis for free, I mean, that's incredible to me. Their lineup is never going to be good at getting any sort of team fight off because, well, they just can't. But what their lineup is really good at, like we talked about, is they can just run down lanes with Rage, with Huskar and Oracle, and they'll force you to come to them, or they'll force you to respond. And that's one way to deal with the fact that they literally have no catch. That's okay.
KP may be found here. Oh no, he couldn't get away fast enough. He was just waiting for that teleport away by the Chen. Fortunately, he had the Enrage and the TP.
You're good, you're good.
3,000 gold lead for Chaos. A relatively close game, much like the odds here. 24 minutes in, Ajit is going to be able to grab Misery inside of the jungle and just continue to keep him ensnared, making sure he can't teleport away. HFN a bit bothered by a Puck who silenced him. He just runs back, he'll be okay.
I think Chaos still have the advantage, but they do have to be very careful. Lack of stuns means that this Meepo, unless he tries to go into that one-on-one again with that Huskar, which I imagine Ajit has learned from, as long as he keeps his space, he can pick off the other heroes, he can play this kind of split push game now.
Yeah.
He can sort of change his focus. I can't imagine this is the way that they want to play, but now they're going to see they have the numbers advantage.
Moon, he knew there was people hiding in those trees, and he immediately susses it out. The Razor drops down to half health. Ro4a's quite low as well, but he has all that regen going for him. He's already killed the Meepo. He's going to be held in place by Febby. The Winter's Curse is going to make sure he doesn't die just yet. Fortunately saved by that false promise, and now he's going to turn towards that Puck. Phase Shift is going to be able to dodge all that damage, blinking himself away. Moon is good, but the rest of his team is suffering, and so is that tier 2.
And now Moon just going to try to cut the wave. Chaos, they found their timing. They still have the Aegis on the Huskar. He's got a 20 stick charge. Wand up as well. And they're just going to march down this tower with their Rage Lifestealer. They don't have the Winner's Curse either. And this is how you deal with the Meepo. 20-minute games.
Just don't let him get involved whatsoever.
Ro4a just physically positioning himself between the enemy team and his own.
And they almost
Drops
have
a little
false
low.
promise.
Oh, nice pickup by Moon. He takes away the Aegis.
All right, they've got false promise in 7 seconds, but it looks like they're content with the trade. They get the tower to about 700 HP. And just kind of a weird game. Because Chaos just sort of farmed and it sort of just worked out. Everything is gone according to plan. And HFN just didn't do anything
And
for
that's
like
what
18 minutes.
HFN it does so well, right? HFN is an incredibly good farmer. In the previous season, that is what kept Pain alive so many times, is that HFN always maintained top net worth, even in the most adverse situations.
Yeah, and you've got to give him props. He did not panic whatsoever. He was like, guys, we don't have to fight them at all. If they're not going to come to us, I'm just going to chill. They try to invade their jungle with solo Ursas. Eventually, they punished that by killing KP when he was so separated from the rest of their team. And that's what I feel like Mineski's doing. They're trying to just do a little bit too much. When they go for these team fights, they're splitting up. They're not really keeping the focus on one person. Remember when they caught the Huskar by himself? That should have been just 4 heroes mashing buttons on the Huskar. Nobody dies, go to Roshan. Yep. But instead, he trades out with Ajit. Then all of a sudden, the game sort of resets.
Yeah, you don't have the Meepo to be able to take that. Jump away by Moon. Tavo has stolen a ton of damage and is still trying to chase that puck away. Don't think he's going to
I mean, the good news is that Moon theoretically shouldn't be able to die this game. He died once at that laning stage, but now he's got a Eul Scepter. He, again, we've talked ad nauseum about it, no stuns, so he can just continue. I mean, look how aggressive he's playing.
He's just going casually into tier 3s. But he's way less effective against the Lifestealer now, because of the fact that he's finished up the Manta now on HFN. So he can't even blink silence and hope for follow-up disables. It's not going to be until the Scythe of Ice of the Meepo that they're going to have something to threaten this HFN Lifestealer.
Yeah, and Moon just wantonly hitting the tower. He's going to get some damage stolen away as he's just playing around with Tavo a little bit. Tavo should be okay too. He's got a Eul Scepter of his own, and now he's got an E-Blade. And they're just trying to take away the Ursa completely from the team fights. And it's also quite nice against the Winner's Curse. Sure. If you're able to Winner's Curse one of your teammates, they just have multiple ways to deal with this as he uses it offensively. Very unlikely that he gets the damage off, but does at least get the tower deny, and this is going to force them back a little bit as Ajit gets run into once again.
Tries to bring all his Meepos, but it's not going to do it. Now the back line, KP, okay, good Winner's Curse. That's going to make sure they take the Oracle out of the equation. That means Ro4a doesn't have a save. He's going to go down as well. Misery trying to force staff his way out of here. A good Sprout block, and that will get him out. The Sprout block makes a big difference. That Quelling Blade has a cooldown, and the Ursa couldn't get through there. I'm not sure what Tavo's doing here, but he is begging
Look at the TP coming in from Pylite Die. They really want to go for this as Tavo. He does have that E-Blade up.
Yeah, he does have the E-Blade. He's going to turn around on a KP, start sealing some of his damage as well. The Plasma Field won't actually hit the Ursa in time. Managed to blink away. Good thing, too, because HFN was teleporting in. Now they're going to try and catch Pylite Die. Misery, they know he's somewhere. And sure enough, they found him. Cold Embrace, yes, but it's kind of delaying the inevitable here. But they still want to fight. They're going to jump back in. Razor immediately target. Fortunately, Eul Scepter will buy him some time. The E-Blade as well. And now the heals coming out from King RD. So Chaos will be able to retreat back to the safety of their own shrine and maintain that 4,000 net worth lead they hold over Mineski, despite being 1 kill down even.
Yeah, King RD really needs to be able to stay a little bit further away from his Huskar. Just got caught by the Winner's Curse. It's one of the few times he's actually been hit by that. But if you're put in a position like that, Ro4a will die very quickly. He does rely quite a bit on that Oracle to try to stay alive, to reset things for him, and also to act as his stun, his root. It's his only real way to chase. And so King RD staying alive for as long as possible in these fights is going to be so important for them. That's why he's going to go for the Glimmer Cape next. I'd imagine he goes for a 4-staff or a Eul's right after that.
I've seen survivability matters. For some of these Oracles, they could just play so far back that it's literally just impossible to find them anywhere.
Yeah, and you see Moon just continues to aggressively deal with these lanes. Just doesn't even care, throwing out his full toolkit on the HFN, uses the silence.
Chaos continue. Oh, this time around, it's actually Mineski who pick up 3 of the bounty runes. It's mostly been Chaos who have gotten the majority of bounties in this
Misery.
game.
I think he's watching top, as they're going to see him here as KP.
Trying to get the Sprout onto KP. KP not able to get away from this one. Back over to top lane. It's Moon who's having his damage stolen away. Can he get the fast blink? He cannot. He may be able to jump over to his orb and stay alive. Misery will be able to get out of the clutches of KP. KP successful TP out. Misery though, he does manage to get out. Ooh, that was a close call. I'm not sure if that was worth the risk of killing a Furion, but hey, he managed to pull it off. Ajit gets a kill and gets out.
Well done. As Misery, I think he was watching the shenanigans happening at top lane.
Yeah, he was looking for where he was going to be TPing next and not paying attention to his hero.
Almost got away too. Really nice Sprout and a good Force Staff. Ooh.
Looking at Meteor Hammer next. ESL, BKB, as well as that halberd and the armlet that he had earlier. HFN got his Manta, has an AC now. That's been his latest pickup. It's going to be slowed down by Febby and his Arctic Burn. They're just chasing heroes away from this area. They fully control the Roshan pit, and they are going to do it again. They are not trying to sneak this ever. They are daring Mineski to come fight them. And Moon is going to do just that, blowing up Misery immediately with that tag, and that's a tag on 3, and a great winner's curse, but unfortunately HFN was still magic immune and was able to chase Moon a little farther away and didn't deal any damage. Tavo's now going to be saved by the false promise, but King RD, chased by KP, is going to be able to catch up to him. They reveal for a moment. Moon's going to go to that back line, finish up that Oracle, while KP drifts away from Tavo, not wanting to be slowed down, gets hit by the E-Blade. He's going to be okay. Febby will not, it looks like, with the Glimmer Cape on him. They have the dust. They'll find it quite easily. A jump over, phase shift, dodging all that damage. Moon getting away, but he actually went back into the Roshan pit, picks up the Aegis. HFN looking to punish him for that one. He's going to try and kill one of these Meepos, but they're all blinking themselves away until the Yule Scepter stops that last one. Will be able to kill him. The real one, they know where he is. They're going to be able to find him. Misery's caught by Moon. Yes, the second life of the Meepo. Chaos is already on top of him with 3 different heroes, all 3 of the cores, and they're beating down just one of the Meepos, and he will fall.
And that fight, I mean, it brings the game to about even. They did manage to grab both the Cheese and the Aegis onto the Meepo. And you're starting to see Moon finally have so much impact in these fights because they just can't kill them. They have no way to bring him down. So he went for the Dagon 5. He's thinking to himself, I just need to do as much damage as possible. I don't really need any more survivability tools. I can just continue to play this hit and run game if the fights last long enough. And you see how difficult it is for them to bring down the Ursa and the Puck, and it's going to be more on them than it is on the Meepo.
Yeah, an amazingly free game for this Puck.
This is such a weird game because both of these teams have this typically like mid-game structured cheese hero. You've got Huskar on one side, you've got Meepo on one side, and it's just complicated by the fact that Chaos, yes, they've got this Oracle Huskar combination, but at the same time they have no stuns. Well, on the flip side, Mineski have this Meepo that just hasn't really had any impact, aside from killing the Nature's Prophet a few times. And once again, you just TP away. That's a Chen with, I don't even know how much he has 1100 HP, no armor, he just casually TPs away. And he gets to do that for free every single time. Unless the Razor's nearby, who does have a Yule Scepter, but... And Misery once again caught out here.
Good save by the Oracle. Moon. Having forced that false promise is still good, though. It means that Chaos may not be as willing to force this tier 2 down. We'll see.
Yeah, and you've got the cheese now. Is Moon gonna look for it? He finds King RD first, who immediately disarms himself. He's really trying to take out this Oracle, and if he finds the Oracle jump, they'll swarm in almost immediately. This would be the best situation for them, and that's why he just continues to play this hit and run game. And this is such a treat to watch. This is the full extent of what Puck can do when he's completely unhindered.
He is gonna think about going back for the Lincoln, says he knows that there's going to be some sort of disables coming in.
Somebody has to get a
an
Hex.
Abyssa Blade, or in this case, it's gonna be Scythe of Ice on Tavo's Razor.
He has to be thinking to himself, like, at some point, they're gonna realize that I just keep doing this Dagon.
Yeah.
Like, somebody has to be thinking, at least long term, as Moon gets the blink out, manages to nab the DD.
Meanwhile, top lane, Winter's Curse is going to be laid down, stopping the Oracle from being able to save anybody here. Tomo's almost dead, he managed to get the Ult Scepter off. King RD blown up by Moon, yes, but he managed to save the Razor at least for a little bit longer. Achi, one Meepo solo, doesn't die. He's going to be able to TP back to base. The rest of the Meepo's going to be okay. They're ensnaring up and controlling Chaos, jumping over to Misery. Now that's going to be 4 dead of Chaos.
And it all starts with this puck, this constant misdirection game. He drags people down to this bottom lane. They're forced to respond to him at all times.
They knew they could fight top because of Moon's information. They say HFN's bottom.
I see him, guys, just jump. It doesn't matter. If we can't win a 3-on-5 fight at this point, we probably don't deserve to win this game. So he says, go in, I'll come in at the end. They find the perfect initiation. They were able to separate the Oracle long enough.
And that's where also, I don't think we talked about the fact that he did pick up a Boots of Travel. That has also been integral to his success, right? Like, the magic damage burst is great, but he's also been able to have that constant split-pushing influence while still being there for the team fights.
Yeah, and this has just been such a weird game to analyze, just based on the fact that, I mean, it's a puck, a hero that, you know, hasn't really been in the meta for quite some time because of his inability to really just survive most of the time.
Well, we've got one more disable, even if it's based on RNG. HFN does have the Skull Basher. And Tavo, because of his death, well, that Scythe of Ice is going to have to wait a few more minutes.
And Chaos is also doing a very good job considering the fact that they have 0 disables. Like, the fact that this game is in this position at all really, I mean, both teams are really wringing everything they can out of their lineup and the limitations that they have.
I mean, Blitz, you always tell me, like, games are just easier when you have stuns. And, well, the fact that Chaos is doing so well without them
I gotta
says
commend
something.
them because this can't be the easiest game to play, and it's got to be really frustrating. Because you look at Moon, and you just can't stop him. It just continues to be the puck show.
They all head down to the bottom lane, but for what? You can push into the high ground.
He's just gonna continue.
Moon's already cut all the waves.
Yep, he's gonna do it again. He just doesn't care at all. He's gonna dig on that one.
We are sticking around like, oh, I'm gonna get you, Puck, but it's not happening. You know that's not gonna happen.
Some wily coyote. So now the top lane is getting dealt with, and this is where the game becomes a little bit more difficult for Chaos, as they have to just consistently go back. Look at Moon. He's just being...
Moon's like, I can cut 2 different waves. I can get mid and bottom.
He is genuinely just taunting them.
And he's going to have that level 25 too.
He didn't have to walk that way.
No, he didn't.
That was a show of force.
I want you to know I'm by your tier 4s right now.
You can literally do nothing against me. And now a refresher on the side of Febby almost, who does have that GPM talent. He's really farmed. He's got Boots of Travel, Blink Dagger, Aether Lens. This is almost a 6-slotted Winter Wyvern.
Damn, that's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen a refresher orb on Winter Wyvern. Maybe a refresher shard,
pretty
sure,
sick.
But
I think it's going to be pretty sick.
Yeah. I mean, he could be free to, like, so many times he's been forced to just throw it on the Oracle, even if no one's around, just to stop him from being able to use the False Promise in a critical moment. So having an extra...
HFN, though, has to be more careful. The fight did start with him being in that bottom lane. As soon as they know that info, he has to kind of tell his team or vice versa, we can't fight if we're not together as 5, be careful. And what's making them really reluctant to just go for it is because they don't have the Aegis. If they had the Aegis, I'd imagine that Chaos would say, enough of these shenanigans, let's just go down lanes, let's just push them out. It has also forced them to go for the Boots of Travel, which I think is completely the right decision because somebody has to deal with the waves.
Well, there it is. You can just look at Puck, see that gold climbing in the bottom right, the 420 gold per minute.
Just barely gets that TP off in front of that Lifestealer, who does have a basher, so now they have to be somewhat careful. If they get the instant bash, they will kill him really quickly.
Yeah.
He has okay-ish armor, but only 1800 HP. They get one good bash on him, he will die. I think he's going to know about the Hex coming as well on the Razor. As soon as you see the Ultimate Orb, that's the only thing that he could possibly be going for at this point.
Yeah.
This is going to prompt Moon, who, like you said, the GPM, he's already got the Lincolns queued up. He has it purchased. It'll be in his hands quite soon.
This game, I don't think it's going to end anytime soon. So that average GPM, I have no doubt that Moon's can get boosted significantly off of this game. As he continues to split push freely. We are going to have Febby, Glimmer Cape, and flies away over the trees, away from HFN. Misery's still going to try and catch him here. The Sprout is going to be able to lock him down. Does blink away. He got away from the Radiance.
And this is just going to reset things again, and you have to be careful getting out here as Chaos. You don't really know where the ward vision is. If you split up too far, that's when everybody from Mineski will start to TP back and they'll isolate somebody out. And look at this trap being built right now by top lane, KP. He's pretty sure they don't have ward vision here. He's got the Abyssal Blade. He's hoping that one hero TP's back with a regular TP to try to deal with this, maybe the Nature's Prophet. If he nabs that kill thinking, the Nature's Prophet thinking, oh, it's just a Chen and his creeps, I'll be okay.
Yeah. I mean, Piladai's been very subtle about his push.
Yes.
Have you seen him? He's been popping out and divine favoring the range creep. And then he stole one of the siege creeps.
They're
He's not really showing
Misery
at
comes
all.
back. That's really the game plan here, as Misery hasn't really fallen for it quite yet, and they're going to know that he's in that area instead.
Moon's heading off. Oh, hey. Just found a dust.
Look at this.
Bye.
He is so sure. He's actually just playing around with them. This is...
Yeah, there's no point for him to
You
go
should
up to
applaud this.
I saw that, says King RT. He knows, and he also knows
Moon
that
is
they
putting
can't
on
do
a show
damn
for you
thing
guys.
about it.
He's just waiting by the creep wave racks because he's so sure that no one's going to kill him.
He positions the orb to jump over to the mid lane. Doesn't actually jump in time. Piladai finally got found, though. HFN puts a stop to at least one of these split pushing nonsense.
He don't care. It's like, dude, that guy has... Piladai's got a 4-staff. He doesn't care.
Yeah. Piladai immediately buys back, knowing that Ro4a is likely to be up, almost pulling up Weehaw, but he managed to get off the BKB. Now false promise of the Oracle, tries to jump in. Great Winter's Curse, mid-life break. That's going to be able to buy the Meepo a lot of time to be able to jump away. He's going to be okay. KP laying some damage into Weehaw Moon. Oh no! Are they going to be able to kill him? Weehaw managed to get the force up to the high ground. He life breaks back into KP, and they'll be able to get the Abyssal Blade, but no! The Cold Embrace keeps him alive a little bit longer. They're laying so much damage into him, and KP enrages. Aji comes in as well. They're sprouted together. Talvo's dealing some damage. HFN trying to deal in one of these Meepos. A third health, almost dead. Finally, the Meepo does fall. Tavo survives as well. Febby's going to be chased away. That's 3 dead from Mineski, 2 of which do have buyback.
And the cavalry finally arrives. Tavo bringing HFN along, and they're just going to go for the high ground. And now the Abyssal Blade drop from HFN. He says, you can taunt me, I can do the same. He drops his Abyssal Blade right in front of their racks.
And this is what's so special about Southeast Asia versus South America. The jump in from Weehaw onto KP, chasing away that Ursa once again, so they can freely just finish off this lane of racks. But if Coil goes down, are they going to buy back? They're the Winner's Curse, and they are going to buy back. Now the Meepo, they are all leaning on this one. The Mineski, they're going to be able to take out the Huskar first. They've already controlled up the HFN. He looks like to be tied well. No, he actually managed to still get away. Oh, Moon. Can he actually catch up to him? He's got so much mobility. He needs to be able to find it, but no, he's already infested inside the creep.
There's the rogue
creep is making a way. Dual Scepter, stop that creep! KP bursts it down, and there it is. The pinata opens up, and the candy falls. 606 gold for Moon. Tavo dies. Aji goes back to claim that kill. King RD is going to be found as well. Moon on the hunt, will not stop with cores. He'll hunt down supports as well, but he's been juked away by the Glimmer
immediate
Cape.
buybacks. They're going to the shrine. Weehaw knows what's up. He knows that they're in the Roshan pit. It's going to be a second too late, but it's Febby that he finds first. Weehaw has already committed. He's used his BKB. They've got to be careful in this fight. The Hex on the Febby instead.
Oh, he doesn't manage to fly down to the other side. They spotted Moon there for a moment. They're going to interfire him. Not sure what that smoke was for. They did know he was here. Fortunately, Moon is so far away. The Lincolns will protect him. An invis pickup as well.
But that was such a big commitment from Chaos. They wanted to try to grab more from that. They didn't know that the Roshan was going to fall that quickly. They only get a Winter Wyvern. That would not be worth it for them as Moon is on the hunt right now. He's trying to find King RD. They do have the gem available on this Nature's Prophet, though. So Moon's got to be a little bit careful.
Moon's going to be able to find the initiation blowing up. No, the Glimmer Cape, the save. King RD is going to be fine. Keeping him alive is critical, as we've seen. When that Oracle is gone, they can focus down Weehaw and HFN a lot easier. They're going to be able to take that one shrine, yes. While these 30 seconds, they don't have the Winter Wyvern. Chaos control the map, but after that, they're going to have to be dealing with an Aegis on the Meepo.
And they're learning from the guerrilla tactics.
They know that the puck is always going to try to find one of the two supports, so it's so important for Chaos to stay on their two supports. Similar to the game where we saw NIP play against Alliance, where they kept trying to go on Saksa, you have to commit one of these cores to protecting this Oracle. I'd imagine that it'd be Tavo in this case, just because he does have the Hex.
And now
he's got multiple ways to kill Moon.
To hunt Moon.
This is a good bait. Oh, maybe if he just waited half a second, Moon would have gone for that creep wave. And instead, he's going to pop out now. He understands that the Lifestealer is quite far away. He's going to continue his hit and run tactics. TP back to base.
We'll quickly push out that top lane. Somebody grab that cheese. I've been wondering where the cheese was. It's been in the fountain this entire time.
The problem is there's not a really... I guess one of your supports could grab it. The Ursa has the refresher. He'd prefer that because of the double in range, the double Abyssal, and the double BKB.
Surely he can carry both, though, right?
I'd imagine so, too. I'm pretty sure you put it on the courier and you just give it to him. He's probably the best carrier for it.
Or
I can't imagine it's Pi with his 1,000 HP.
No. And we're getting, getting some Tinker wards down now. Those side little cliff areas, and E-Blade.
And you see Moon, by the way. He's not doing, he's not going by the racks anymore, trying to cut the creep wave. I think he knows now that they have some ways to deal with them.
Moon opting for more direct damage. Now he can E-Blade Dagon that Oracle.
I mean, this is quite the game. It's 10k up on the side of Mineski, but Chaos have proven that they can win team fights as a group.
I like that. Did you see that pick up Shadow Blade for Tavo? He's like, I've got the direct disable against this puck.
He knows that the puck can't afford to carry Gem on him at all times. He does have a Dust, but none of his item slots are really replaceable at this point. This is the downside of having so much net worth. And Tavo, he's just going to go on the hunt now. He's got multiple ways to break. He does need HFN, I think, inside him just for the pure raw damage. Like, just him by himself, I think, isn't quite enough.
No.
But if you wait in that bottom lane long enough, I feel like you'll find the opportunity. Like, what I'd like HFN right now to do is push out this top lane, connect to Tavo. This bottom lane is already pushed to here. By the time it gets to around here, you can set that trap and wait.
Oh, they just pulled up. Febi's here. He's going to show that he's here at least with a Splinter Blast, but they may not know about KP.
I'd really like that trap to be set by Tavo at bottom. You have that Shadow Blade. They don't quite know about
coming in. They're all going to try and bail out. He didn't get one of his Meepos out. They're going to try and save it. KP is going to come back in, immediately got inside the Vice. The Meepos all come in. The Winter's Curse is already laid out onto Tavo as well. They're going to slow him down. Febi has already popped the Refresher Orb. They may not expect this. This extra Curse may be able to save this fight. They've already got the coil, making sure that Weehaw can't chase these heroes down. Unfortunately, KP is just being kited around.
He's by himself right now.
Force staffs. He's going to be able to get the Refresher shot back. Oracle gets blown up. And now maybe they can turn onto this this Huskar potentially. KP has used his second BKB, his second Enrage, and finally it does wear out. They're going to be able to get the Scythe of Ice, and Mineski leave him to die. With the buyback out from King RD, Mineski no longer feel comfortable taking that fight, but he does not have buyback, and he is dead for 2 minutes.
And the weird part is they had Aegis in that engagement. You're just not feeling the impact of this Meepo whatsoever.
No.
He just doesn't feel comfortable fighting at any point. That was probably the best possible fight they're going to get. They kill King RD off the bat. 3 heroes are chasing that Ursa, and it's just really the Huskar and this Lifestealer that's front-facing. And he still doesn't feel comfortable fighting. And now the Aegis fades out. Does have the buyback available. They're going to have to do it without one of their core heroes on the side of Ursa. It's actually 2 minutes still for this Meepo to have buyback. They know about this timing, and I think Chaos trying to play for the win here.
8 more seconds until the Winter's Curse.
They know there's no buyback on the Meepo. If the Ursa had it, he would have used it at this
point.
point.
Back line, Misery's dead.
And this is one way to get it done.
It's now a 4 versus 4. Misery does have buyback all the way in as Weehaw with the BKB immediately goes for Febi. There's no way the Oracle could possibly get to him. What was he expecting out of that one? I don't know, but they've caught Moon. Finally, the Roadrunner dies in the first time in Acme history.
It took something like 44 minutes, but they finally bring him down. But he's done his job. He forced the buyback.
Yeah.
The entire team chased him. And I don't think Weehaw had any idea what was going on.
What was that?
I think what ended up happening was he didn't realize the chaos that, no pun intended, that the puck was causing in the back line. Because somebody, like I said, was trying to protect
the back line, which was Tavo, and so there was no follow-up whatsoever. Moon's job is to try to separate one of the cores at least so that his team gets a favorable fight. Hopefully he finds one of the supports in the back line. You force them into an awkward position. That's exactly what he does.
This. He knows Misery is here.
Yeah,
and he's
gonna
sitting
bring
here
somebody
in vision. He's going to be able to pull
There's no buyback
in.
on Misery. This would be a very nice pickup for them.
They're going to pull in the Meepo, grab him, ensnare, Misery. That's a dieback.
And now it's a 4-on-5 for 91 seconds. Huskar doesn't have buyback for a minute himself.
We're going to rewatch this one.
Look
See
at this.
what the hell we
They
have.
go to protect.
He life break. He just ran and jumped on Febby at the same time that Moon jumped in on his team. I'm not sure if that's really the target you wanted to go on anyway, but certainly unfortunate timing as well. And he does that right as Moon makes his initiation. Straight up pipe for our Nature's Prophet. We've got an Orchid now for the Meepo.
And the Meepo, you see that he continues to want to just play that pickoff game. He doesn't really feel comfortable in these 5-on-5s, nor should he really. I can't really blame him for that top engagement. It just goes to show you the limitations of the heroes.
Tavo catches the Chen. Pylon Die was trying to do cheeky things once again, but he managed to get the side onto Tavo. He's going to be saved immediately by King RD. They're trying to leave some damage. They know, no, never mind. They're going to back up. They actually just go for the Winter's Curse, run away. KP's going to use his time with his BKB to try and get out. With the coil on all of these heroes on the side of Chaos, they're not going to be able to pursue. They lose the Razor, and they're going to have to back themselves away. Mineski, it's funny how there's 2 heroes dead, and they're still walking away from that engagement.
Yeah, they understand hit and run, just continue to do these guerrilla tactics, pick people off. Their pickoff potential is really good. And it's 100 seconds on the deck for this Razor. The buyback cooldown is up, but he just doesn't have the gold. I'm not sure if Mineski's aware. They're probably aware of the timer, but they have no way of knowing that he doesn't have the gold, so they probably just grab this tier 2 tower, maybe wait for the next Roshan, then start to make aggressive plays again.
Getting close to some important pickups as well. I mean, it would be sick if we could see a level 25 for Febby. Most of the time, I've always seen the Splinter Blast 2-second stun, but seeing how critical the Winter's Curse is in this game, an extra 1.5 seconds going it up to 7-second duration. And he can have 2 of those in a fight. That would be insane.
At the same time, when the enemy team has no stuns, your stuns look a lot better, just by virtue of having them. In a way, you're flaunting your privilege of having a stun.
Roshan's up. Roshan's up, and both teams will know about it. We've got the Chen creeps as well as the Furion Treants.
Yeah, and Mineski seem a little bit hesitant, but they should just walk in. And once the buyback doesn't come on the side of the Razor, they should know that this is a 4-on-5, and this should trigger Chaos into just being a little bit more cautious. Don't fight this area. It's a 4-on-5. Your main disable, the guy who's built all these items to catch, isn't alive. You've got to be careful here.
They've smoked up. HFN is going to lead the way into this Roshan pit. He's going to peek in, see what the health the Roshan is. Ajit is actually quite low, but there's going to be the Winter's Curse to make sure the Meepo can't get out. The initiation, KP is going to jump for the back line. Ro4a, he was actually jumping on him at all, but Roshan still going on. HFN popping his BKB. They interfire to blast away some of these Meepos. They're trying together to focus one of them. There is going to be the call to brace to try and save that Meepo, so they turn into a different one. They're all quite so low, and finally, one of them will fall.
Where's the
thanks to
buyback?
the best bomb, but there's going to be the buyback of the Meepo, and now Chaos may have to retreat, or at least trying to recollect themselves, because Ro4a almost dying here is going to be seen by the regen inside of the pit, though. KP is still limping along here. Needs to be able to get a force staff to get out of here, but none of his team is around. Roshan still at a 3rd HP. HFN looks to be able to finish off, but Mineski are rolling in fast. Bevy.
They've got to hurry. It's about to fall right now. This would be an Aegis Cheese and Refresher. As Misery, he's going to time this, lays down the Meteor.
They just have to give it up. I thought they were going to rush into the pit, but they actually stalled. And maybe it was for the best. I mean, they had no Winter's Curse, no coil.
And I thought that Chaos was crazy going for that 4-on-5 fight without the Razor. But HFN is such a beast. 3k HP. And you saw King RD, the one time he doesn't get isolated out by that puck, he's fine. He has the Aeon Disc. He's finally found a way to counter the hit and run of the puck.
How do you deal with HFN, who's now found Pylite Die? He's got, how many seconds of Magic Immunity is that? That's what, 18? 26? 26 seconds of Magic Meter? How do you stop that? William, please.
Ooh, that's the tough part. I mean, it all starts with the way that fights have been going successfully for Mineski is finding this Oracle. If Puck finds the Oracle, he separates him from the rest of his team. He forces Ro4a away from the rest of his team, drags him out a little bit. That's when they have the most successes. I mean, the game graph alone just looks ridiculous. As you thought for a second that Chaos was definitely going to win. Then I thought that Mineski definitely had it.
Yeah.
And now it just goes back in their favor. So now the bottom lane march comes from the side of Chaos. They know that 3 buybacks have been expended here.
Misery has already taken away that hiding spot. KP is going to be flushed out into the open here. Trying to stop Ro4a. Okay, just an Abyssal Blade. At the same time, Moon does go and try and blow up Misery once again. The 2-man coil trying to stop this side. The Vice from Tavo still managed to get it, but no pursuit. So they both utilize something pretty expensive here. Oh, King RD! He was so far forward. Fortunately, he has got an Aeon Disc, and they have so many other saves. Ro4a is on the front line still. It's going to be False Promise, so the rest of Mineski have to back up. They have to play out the fountain as much as possible. KP trying to go for the kill onto Tavo. Couldn't get a bash or anything. Not going to be able to get the lockdown here.
King RD's coming back with the boots of travel, trying to back up the rest of his team, thinking there's going to be a continued engagement. And Moon did his job. He finds King RD, but it's already too late as the racks do go down. I'd imagine at this point, Mineski don't care. This is a 56-minute racks. But still, these little advantages by Chaos. Now the map is completely opened up, and Ajit doesn't have a buyback. He's got to be careful about this, but the rest of the team, they know they're a bit isolated. They're finding somebody.
Blade ready to go. King RD's already been caught up, and now that's a dieback. Moon, he's going to be able to jump forward, catching Tavo potentially as well. Tavo's got to get out of here. He does have a cheese. He's going to have to pop it now as Yule Scepter as well. Mineski keep on throwing in damage onto Tavo, poking at him, hoping to be able to eliminate him without fully committing. Moon jumps to that back line once again, has another round of the Dagon. He's going to jump forward.
He's got to be careful about this.
Away.
There's a Hex in 2 seconds from Tavo.
1 second now. Has to phase shift. He's going to be okay. The bash comes in on a Tavo, and the Dagger to finish him off. No more disables left to be able to catch Moon. The back line. Oh, Ro4a jumping in. Ajit, they're going to try and kill the Meepo as quick as possible. The E-Blade's going to be able to save one of those Meepos. But now the other one, it's going to get bashed up into trees as goes. Refresher activated. And they found still Magic Immune. 2 minutes down on the Meepo. They've got to get out of here. Winter's Curse is going to be laid down on an HFN, but Tavo, side device. Moon blows every bit of magic damage he has, and it is enough. Tavo falls. Moon trying to keep the game alive as best he can, grabbing the gem, blinking away, teaming out. Misery spots him, but he has no damage.
The hit and run tactics. He stayed in that entire fight with about 500 HP. He makes it work. They force the buyback on Tavo. They take him down twice. If they hold Tavo in that engagement, they probably just march down mid and win the game. And this is the only way that Mineski can really win fights, is to make them as chaotic as possible, pick off whoever they can.
This man has 12,000 gold, by the way. Start passing out the moon shards, baby. Moon, you got more than you could possibly spend.
So well done by him. I mean, he has created quite the entertaining game.
He has been keeping Mineski alive. Febby, sure enough, does go for the Splinter Blast stun, so now it's not just the winner's curse.
I feel like King RD and Moon right now are the MVPs. King RD's, it's a weird game of cat and mouse, because King RD hates Moon right now. King RD's only objective is to survive in this world. He has built 3 defensive items. He has a range item as well, so that he can cast his spells from max distance. All he wants in this life is to stay alive.
William, I got something for you.
Yes.
Look at King RD, right?
Yes.
So close to level 25. The talent is minus 5 seconds Fate's Edict cooldown. It puts it down to a 2-second cooldown.
That'd be quite nice.
You could just literally walk around and casting it on yourself nonstop. It'd just be magic immune.
That's probably the play.
Yeah. I mean, what does Moon do about that at that point in time?
Keep Moon off you. This is the key right now in Chaos. They've got to be a little bit more careful. They just have to protect King RD.
Yeah.
The fights are so clear-cut to me at this point. If King RD lives, it's a really easy fight for Chaos. It's so hard for them to bring down any of the cores. When he dies, they start to play this pick-and-roll game. They isolate one core out. When Lifestealer goes to the Meepo, the Puck is finding one of the other cores, and suddenly it turns into this weird 2-on-4 situation where HFN, yes, he's unkillable, but at the same time, he's playing alone in these engagements because he's the only one that can't really die. But if you find a situation where you can kill the rest of his teammates, you will find a way to bring this beast down.
HFN just fearlessly pushing in waves everywhere he goes.
HFN is playing this game very well as well. Like, he is pushing his hero to the max. He's trying to be as aggressive as possible. He's trying to force attention. They're just sort of ignoring him.
I saw one fight where I'm pretty sure he raged, BKB
They're
raged,
just
and
like,
then
whatever.
refresher sharded.
They just don't really care about his presence in this game.
Yeah.
They have multiple ways to deal with him. The cold embrace has made his life just absolute hell. Similarly, how they have to kill King RD, they really need to get rid of Febby in these fights. The cold embrace, the Devil's Winner's Curse is just doing a little bit too much.
And I don't think we've seen the effect of the Splinter Blast stun yet.
Yeah.
But that's also going to be a
Also,
problem.
Febby just, he's so rich that he sold the cheese because he doesn't think anybody on his team needs it. Or maybe he just didn't mention it. Just to
he
afford
just
the Octarine
quietly
part.
was like...
He just he's like, guys, I've got Octarine. They're like, that's weird.
What happened to that cheese? Oh, you know, that razor, man. He almost got me one time.
Almost, I just had to use it.
Yeah.
Misclick.
So Octarine core now for the Winter Wyvern.
I mean, poor Pylai Dai probably could have used it at this point. He's got a sentry and a gem. That's how you know that he's poor. He's got a sentry and a gem.
And when you're actively holding onto a smoke, it's not even sitting onto your backpack. You're just kind of like filling the slot.
Dude, I'm 6-slotted. What do you...
Quick, Pi, put that clarity in that 6 slot. Fill it up.
And they want to get aggressive right now. As Mineski, they know that Tavo still doesn't have buyback. I mean, the only people with buyback available are the 2 behemoths, the Puck and the Lifestealer. So if you can find any of these engagements, maybe isolate King RD, you would just win this game.
And that's why they're going all the way around, assuming that's where they're going to find their pesky support.
Look
they
right now, okay, they see the TP. Just rush in. Just try to find an engagement. You see the TP of HFN. This could have just been a mistake.
They're going to be able to find something here, surely. Febby, they have the TP back in from Moon. He's looking
HFN,
for that initiation. Somebody already got the sights on Weehaw. Weehaw's going to be jumped on immediately. They start putting some damage onto him, but they don't fully commit. Even though they knew HFN wasn't in that fight, they still didn't go for it.
They know he has the Travels 2, but HFN messed up there. He didn't have the Travels 2 in his inventory, and of course they weren't aware of that.
Okay.
So they thought he was just going to hop
in his
in.
inventory.
Yes.
Okay.
But that was such a risky move by him. If he gets punished like that and they lose the game because of that situation...
Because of that 5-second downtime of trying to switch items? Oof. He's going to have even more items, trying to pick up a Bloodthorn now.
Yeah, and these racks, the 7K lead, it means absolutely nothing. It just comes down to this one engagement at this point.
I'm a little disappointed, Blitz. He did go for the extra 2 seconds of false promise duration. This now goes up to 12 seconds.
That is a really long time, though, to keep your Huskar or your Lifestealer or your Razor alive.
Yeah.
Moon, they're just poking right now.
Yeah, I'm not really even anticipating a fight, because you know this is just the way the Mineski kind of have to play it. They're just poking at some of these heroes, seeing if they can get any kind of reaction. Even just, you know, him using BKB would be great.
Yeah, and you got to give it up to both these teams. They are playing such wildly entertaining Dota. There's just such clear flaws with their lineups, and they're sort of just maximizing around that fact.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like both teams are genuinely just playing well. Pain is somehow working around the fact that they've got 0 catch and 0 stuns. They itemize it. Tavo played for the long game, going for this Yule's Shadowblade Hex sort of build. He sort of adapted his build towards the situation. Moon has taken full advantage of the fact that they don't have any disables. He's pushing this puck to the limits. And the rest of the heroes, I mean, this supporting cast from both sides has been excellent. We haven't talked about that nearly enough, but it's just because, I mean, those are the playmakers on either side.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that they're having subpar performances by any means. I mean, the positioning in this game is wild alone. Every fight has to be played perfectly from both sides.
HFN is very far forward here, and oh no! He just tried to TP without using Rage. He's gonna walk out of the coil, yes, but the rest of the team is already smoked over. HFN is gonna be caught by KP, gets the Abyssal Blade hit, needs more bashes. HFN turns around, delivers a bash of his own, is gonna be saved by the false promise out from Chaos. Look at that, the E-Blade going down as well. The Winter's Curse in the back line on Tavo is gonna be able to stall a lot of this, but Mineski just can't seem to commit, and that's where Ro4a comes in. Ro4a with a line break, KP turns onto him as best he can. Another Winter's Curse laid out on Tavo again.
They have vision of
the E-Blade onto KP.
There's so much kite going
There's
on.
so much silence. Can they get him? He's dead. There's HFN. He's
He's gone. Pylon died. Still being chased by Tavo.
They don't have
who's
vision
now
for the
being
glimmers.
sized up. They need to be able to catch Tavo here and manage to get the ensnare. He's going to be able to go down. Weehaw is also fighting up against KP, who managed to get the pass, but the magic damage. The golden brace couldn't save him. Weehaw is super low. KP's trying to kill him as best as possible, but Weehaw, he's so damn tanky. The Satanic, the regen, he's staying alive and is delivering damage onto Mineski.
And Moon finally runs out of mana. 3,100 pool, he runs out of mana. They have to reset here. Is Pi gonna get caught out too? Instant buyback from all sides. The only person that doesn't have it is this Winter Wyvern. Go get the bounty runes, get him in this game.
Is he just purely off of gold?
They can do it, I think, if they get the bounty runes.
300 gold, that's all he needs.
Moon picks up one, Vebi's
go get the other one, he's got it.
119 gold, he's so close to it. He's gonna buy back now too.
Chaos are not determined to force things into the base yet because they know there's another round of Roshan to do.
And this is going to determine the game, I think, with no buybacks available. But Vebi, reluctant to use his buyback all the same. And the Lifestealer illusion being left behind, this is going to spot everything for them as now the Aegis is free.
There's just no way Mineski can get in here in time. Aegis, cheese, refresher, shard, Moon. No, he can't die here. He's got a buyback. Vebi does too, but that just means that is one less life Chaos have to end.
And the real buybacks are all on the side of Chaos at this point. They've got 3 on their side. Vebi, you have to imagine, with 40 seconds left, is probably going to have to use his.
They just left the cheese there. They don't even need it.
This is how ridiculous this game's gotten. Nobody cares about that cheese. It's been used as fodder to buy items at this point, and now they're going to make this march into the high ground. Vebi uses the buyback to get the Abyssal Blade
on HFN. No false promise just yet from King RT. He's been very patient throughout this game, never really jumping the gun.
And Moon, he's been so aggressive this entire game, but he knows that he is killable. They've tested his mortality. He doesn't have buyback. He has to be so careful. He has to try to find the back line, though. And this is why you see Tavo Shadowbladed up, protecting his 2 supports.
Vebi's looking for the initiation, Scythe onto HFN as his rage falls out, but still, just always with that Oracle in the back line.
And look at Misery. He TPs back, buys a bunch of sentries just in case he dies. He knows that he's liable for it. He knows they need vision for these Glimmer Capes.
They're going to be able to find that ward. Leave the illusions behind. There goes the coil. But again, Chaos don't need to do anything here.
They're just letting HFN go high ground.
Snapping in the coil. Scythe of Ice laid onto him as well. But the Meepo not going to try and jump in. An Abyssal Blade now being used by KP. Anything to be able to keep this melee barracks alive. Also, just trying to keep the stacks of Fury swipes on that Lifestealer.
He's got to go back, though. He's almost run out of mana right now. But instead, he's going to get mangoed, I think, by Vebi, who does have a smoke in his inventory instead. HFN just coming right back. Was grabbing wood.
Bots 2 back in. Ready to fight again, and if he can't kill KP, okay, Ajit is going to go for the back line, trying to catch Weehaw. Ethereal Blade now to beat KP, and immediately the life break onto Ajit. He's going to be able to push away. There goes that Winter's Curse. He's going to be able to stall things, reset. Weehaw keeps on moving forward. Is going to be force-staffed and breaking the coil. Meanwhile, KP finding HFN, actually managed to break him. That's going to be the first life, though. Another Winter's Curse, this time on King RD, but the damage just isn't there, and he has the Aeon Disc as well. Life Break's going to be able to push away some of these heroes. Weehaw is at half health right now, but still always had the saving graces of the Oracle, and it's looking like it's going to be Megas. KP on the side. Moon has actually found Tavo. Tavo going to be saved just in time, and now Moon going to be bashed up. Unfortunately, the Cold Embrace will keep Moon alive. KP hoping to be able to grab somebody here, but maybe turned around on as the scythe comes out. Moon dropping an orb out, will not jump into Chaos. Looks like they're going to allow Chaos to retreat, despite the fact that they have grabbed Megas. Mineski will now have to just sit in their base and hold against Mega Creeps.
I mean, 70-minute Mega Creeps seem a lot less daunting at this phase of the game because they know that they're always on that teeter-totter edge of just winning one team fight and being able to run things down. And that's why Chaos, too, is playing a little bit more careful. They understand if they get completely wiped off of that, they had already lost the Aegis. They can just lose the game. There's no buyback yet on their Lifestealer for another 3 minutes. Tavo doesn't quite have the gold for it, so they're playing a little bit careful. I mean, they've worked so hard for this game. They really don't want to throw it at this point.
So
many extra items that Chaos can still grab. I see in their inventories, boots of travel, Weeha thinking about just in case he needs to buy back and rejoin his team immediately for some sort of final throne push. They may even wait for some of these extra items because there is no reason that Chaos needs to end this game right now.
Yeah, and check out the Oracle right now. This cat and mouse game just got a lot harder as Oracle picks up a heart.
Wow.
He understands this game perfectly. King RD, it's been this way for quite some time. He's been able to live. You see how hard it is for them to bring down anybody because of the false promise.
Yeah.
And it's on such a low cooldown at this point, and it lasts for so long that he often has it twice in these engagements. But they still have to be a little bit careful. There's a 2-minute window right now for Mineski where HFN doesn't have buyback. They're well aware of that, but they have to consistently deal with this mega creep threat.
You know the game has gone late when even Pylai dies looking at some premium items.
Dude, if Pylai Dai has more than boots at this point, you know that the game minimum, like I don't even have to look at the timer, it's been 70 minutes. You're telling me this guy has a 4-staff and a Glimmer Cape? Ask me that question like what time in the game? 70 minutes.
He's thinking about grabbing a site. They are in it for the long haul, and
If he gets a Hex, it's like a 3-hour game. Yeah.
I think is he the only person that's not level 25 in the whole game?
Oh, he's not 25?
No. He's a level 22. It's not even close.
All right, sure. I feel like Pai's been a part of like all the fights too.
Yeah. I mean, he was the one who, like, throughout the mid game was pulling in the Ursa to be able to get these hero kills. You thought he would have
that
grabbed
bottom
some
fight,
of
by
that
the way,
experience.
his Glimmer Cape usage was so clutch.
Yeah.
That was what enabled them to win that fight, or at least even trade even. They forced so many buybacks as a result of that. And we just don't have enough time to talk about all the side characters, but Pylai Dai and Febby with their Glimmer Capes have been so clutch. And they forced Misery to go back to base by 8 sentries in case he died losing the gem. He wants to make sure that his legacy lives on.
Oh, they know that Razor. Tabo, he was spotted by the sentries already laid out. They're going to be able to get the coil. Unfortunately, he just couldn't burst anybody down. HFN has been Winter's cursed up. Pylai Dai trying to survive off a Glimmer Cape, but KP has been sacrificed up, and he will die. He has no buyback. Mineski now will have to hold not just against Mega Creeps, but a 4 versus 5 with tier 4s about to fall.
And they don't have any buybacks.
Moon trying to jump in, immediately get bashed up, but will be able to get off the face shift. Back to the fountain he goes. Ajit's going to be able to try and jump onto the Huskar, but again, he's too tanky. Pops the BKB. He can pop the Satanic as well, but he doesn't even need a shit. Doesn't manage to get the 4-staff back on the fountain. Another one of the meatballs still has to be saved. A nice Winter's Curse, but it's on Illusion of all things. And a Cold Embrace onto that meatball, still keeping it alive. A push away. That's going to be Pylai Dai and the throne dead. Chaos will take game 1.
I mean, what an effort just for game 1 of a best of 3. It took a while. It looked a little bit shaky.
Absolutely. One of the most entertaining games I've had the pleasure to cast.
And this is just Chaos, and you have to give it up for their dance partner, Mineski.
Yes.
As well. This is just their style of Dota. It's hectic. Ooh.
Unbelievable. What an unbelievable game 1. I can't wait for the rest of this series. So we're going to go back to the panel, but we will continue this series soon. Katowice, are you not entertained?
Indeed. I think we're all entertained after that one. Fantastic showing from both teams as we will give them a well-earned rest, I think, after that first game. They'll have a chance to come back. And in the meantime, we'll break things down on this as well as we can anyway. 70 minutes of stuff to break down. I think we could probably be here another 70 minutes doing that. Nahaz alongside Toby1 and Fold here at the desk. Gents, you know, we built this up as one of those, like, this should be good because they're quite evenly matched. They've both got a bit of cheese in their arsenal. We get everything we wanted in game 1.
Yep, scripted it feels like.
Game of the tournament, come on.
Yeah. Longest game in the tournament, best game in the tournament?
Easily.
Most fun?
Easily for me.
Yeah.
It's one of those great opportunities when you have a hero who's like, oh yeah, this should be really fast, play really high tempo, and then you take it to a late game, which means scrambling, it means high positioning, high tempo style of play, just to keep making it work all the time.
Yeah.
Huskar in a nutshell.
I mean, inevitably, not the cleanest of games because it's just so wild out there.
Those are the funnest ones, right?
Yeah.
We always say it becomes a game of mistakes
Yeah.
at that point. A game of just who can clutch it. Some small plays will change everything. Just like a cold embrace that comes up. I saw Febby actually do one of those that made them miss like a big kill toward the end of the game there. But yeah, there's so many little things you can nitpick in this game. Overall, though, the positioning that Chaos did in the team fights and the Oracle, King RD, who MVP for me.
One of the best Oracle games I've ever seen.
He just always was in the right place at the right time. And he got picked off maybe like, I think twice, in the start of team fights, and that's it, which is remarkable when you're playing
and
versus
he
the
was
Moon
being bullied the entire game.
Yeah.
So to survive that well, incredible play.
You're seeing on the highlights here, though, I felt like Mineski really outplayed in these, got outplayed rather in these first couple of fights between a missed coil top, hesitation on the winner's curse in that roast engagement, and then here just a little bit outmaneuvered. I thought Chaos gave themselves a chance by playing better in the first few engagements of this game.
Yeah.
I think Chaos also gave themselves a bigger chance by the fact that they were continuously chasing. I think Misery's Nature's Prophet shouldn't go unsung within the, that 20 to 30 minute mark. He was everywhere. The Sprouts were always blocking. He was chasing everyone like there was almost that one gank he got on Moon.
When he didn't have enough damage.
Yeah, it's like they had to break the Lincoln Sphere. Like, it's like all these little things. Like it just felt like Chaos they were at least always on the same page, no matter how heavy the tempo got.
Yeah. Fantastic performance.
The fours, though. The fours, my God. I mean, that was a big part of the storyline for both of these teams, in my opinion, coming into this series. Febby was amazing. His net worth was higher than Huskar's at 60 minutes. And King RD, I mean, you know, we talk about the ulti being a save. What about the Edict saves in that game? Those were unbelievable. The Edict saves on the Meepo E-Blade and the Puck Dagon, he was so clutch in those fights.
I mean,
it was just
there was just so much. There was so much in there. So many good things to look at.
And they prepared for it too, right? They're like, Tavo, you're feeding, and you saw his items, Tranquil Boot, and he queues up the Midas immediately. He's like, we're going late game. We have a Tricore, we have Razor, Huskar, and Lifestealer. We're okay taking it as long as we keep the farm up.
All right, we're going to get more from all three of you in just a moment, but time to introduce you to a particular favourite thing of mine at these particular events, and I'm so thrilled that we've got the main man himself. Let's find out from Purge what he's got for us. I think he wants to talk about Ro4a's.
The Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel Power Plays.
Hey guys, what's up? Taking a look at a fight at the 32-minute mark between Mineski and Chaos. Now, one thing that Mineski really had to worry about is the fact that Chaos has very good high ground between Nature's Prophet and Huskar and having Oracle to back them up. So what they wanted to do was two things. They first want to make sure that they can stop the split push of other lanes, which Puck did by getting a really fast boots of travel, and most of their cores ended up buying Blink Daggers. And afterwards, what they need to do is control Ro4a's, because that way they can't take an Aegis and have an even easier way to go high ground and end up getting an early advantage. So when they ended up contesting this team fight, what Puck does at first is blows up the Nature's Prophet, who's basically in the front to make sure that he can end up scouting out opponents. Tavo interrupts the Puck's illusory orb ability to jaunt, and as a result, Mineski needs to initiate. And as soon as the winner's curse come out, what happened was KP did something very smart. He swung from where he was because he couldn't do damage, and what he ended up doing is popping into the Roche pit here and checking to see what the HP was. That way they could make good decisions and knowing that they had enough health. And then he went for the backline. That's Oracle being chased. Oracle is the important hero to kill. He's essentially an Aegis or a cheese himself. So everybody on Mineski is just chasing after the Chaos support. They're successful over there. KP was able to split his BKB and his ultimate to get away. And over here, Febby was able to use Cold Embrace to buy some time. And during this whole time period, if you take a look on the map, that's when we had Ajit sitting on the high ground, waiting to jump into the Roche pit. And as a result, they were able to take Roche because everybody on Chaos was splitting away. So they didn't end up keeping the Meepo alive after he got the Aegis, but it was just so important that they were able to keep the Aegis out of the hands of Chaos' side and make it harder for Chaos to end this game, even though they had such a good combo.
Thank you very much, Purge. Always a joy to see that kind of stuff. Glad to have him back with us as well. It's fantastic. Always enjoy the breakdowns, and we'll see plenty more of those. There's also an opportunity for you to maybe get one of your favourite things be broken down, but we'll tell you about that a little bit later on. Let's finish up. Great game, but at the end of it, Mineski now find themselves a game down, Alan. And it was a long game. So what do they talk about in the break?
I mean, I think Mineski are pretty happy with how that went given the draft. Anytime Meepo's picked, he's obviously going to dominate the discussion. But you're still playing against Puck and Ursa without stuns. That does not feel good. And they were able to outplay in those big engagements, which was the reason that they're up 1-0. But I still think there are some draft adjustments that need to come out in game 2.
Yeah? Agree? Disagree?
Yeah, I agree. I still was very happy with overall how Mineski played. I think that game was a toss-up in a lot of situations. Like if he didn't get the Fate's Edict off in this spot, if he wasn't in the right situation, like it really could have gone either way.
One more Ro4a the other way, one more cheese. Who knows? I mean, very small margins in that game.
Absolutely.
As KP was saying in the interview before, like this isn't uncommon ground for them. They're used to playing on a big stage like that. They're still experimenting, and game 2 will be game 2. I don't think there's any pressure that's going to be applied from game 1 moving forward.
Yeah. I mean, mentally, Chaos are going to be feeling really good, not just because they've won the game, but because of the way they came back and won the game. And you saw them at the end. You know, they were all over each other as if they'd won the whole series. So
it's just so much when you get into a game like that, right? It's just so much fun. Yes, the stakes are high, but it's fun Dota for us to watch. It's fun for them to play. It's so crazy to me, like a 70-minute game where Winter Wyvern gets that farm, where the most important item in that game might have been the Aeon Disco and Oracle. Like it's just it's crazy.
Yeah. 70, what did we end up with then? 72 minutes and 30 seconds in that particular game, and almost everyone, apart from Nature's Prophet, got to level 25 in the game. What more could you ask for? Brilliant first game here at ESL One Katowice in our second series. And guess what? Game 2 is just around the corner. Don't go anywhere.